Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world: movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good stuff. And, of course, we are joined today. He is known as the producer of the Agent Cody Banks films, writer, director of the William Shatner film Free Enterprise. And you're going to see his new project out on Netflix right now, Yoda Season 2. Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett is here. Robert, how you doing?
Wow, I wish that everybody I talked to would introduce me the way you did. Maybe I would have more of a career.
I think you're doing pretty good. You're not doing bad.
It's all right.
Saturn Award winner.
Saturn Award winner.
It's true.
Sitting over right in front of me here, guys. He's going to be joining you in the live chat today, as he always does. He is one and the only Chef Pleasures, Ray Ora. Ray, how you doing?
Hi.
And returning today, of course, she took the day off yesterday for no good reason whatsoever.
None at all.
But Chris Carr is here, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. I've got noodle arms, though, for moving bookcases.
Yeah, how'd the move go?
It went fairly well. I did hire, like, the nicest TaskRabbit in the world, but he was this sweet, tiny Disney dad. So he was like this cute little old man, so I moved all the things by myself.
Can you help me with this?
Yeah, where I was like, it's okay. It's okay.
Twilight boy.
Anyway, guys, it is good to have you here today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us around here. We really do appreciate it. Want to remind you guys that if you need the daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, maybe you're commuting or you're at the gym or you're at work, good news. There's the audio-only version known as the John Campea Show podcast. It's available on all your favorite podcasting apps of choice. Just go to your podcasting app, search for the John Campea Show, and subscribe to it today so that audio feed will be there when you need it most. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into some stuff here, shall we? And the first bit of stuff that we're going to talk about is this. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm pretty big into Dungeons and Dragons.
What?
I'm pretty big into Dungeons and Dragons and basically role-playing games in general. So much so that Ann and I had a buddy of ours. We had a spare 65-inch TV.
As one does,
because I replaced it with a better one, so I didn't have anything to do with the 65-inch TV. It was just sitting against the wall. And my buddy, who is a Hollywood set designer and creator, he said, you know what we should do? We should build a table around that. I'm like, yes, let's do that. Now, some of you guys have seen this, but this is our gaming table that he built. That's a 65-inch TV inside of a table. And when we play Dungeons and Dragons, of course, Ann is our game master. What she does is she creates all the maps and worlds and stuff like that. And then what she does is she projects whatever we need to see on the map, and we can use our figures and all kinds of stuff. We use it for different things too. Like I use it for poker nights.
Yep.
We use it to play poker. We got our poker timer up there and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, Chris knows this. She's participated. We even play a little Star Wars role-playing game, which we really do like doing. Love. So basically, I'm a big fan of tabletop, in-person, actual role-playing games.
So you're not into Warhammer 40K?
No, I've played some Warhammer 40K. I haven't played any of it since I moved out here to LA. But I used to play it back home with my buddy Rodney and some friends. But that's an expensive hobby, man.
Dude.
Almost as expensive as collecting hot toys.
Even worse, I think, because they get the figures, the models, the books,
yeah, and then
the
they
weekly
have the new
magazine
come out, and then you got to paint everything.
Bro.
But anyway, what I am very, very big on is D&D and Dungeons & Dragons. Of course, we were talking about our friend Kyle Newman the other day, who plays in probably the hottest D&D game in the world. He plays at Joe Manganiello's D&D game and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm big on it. There's been talk about a movie coming. But now there's also a television series coming. It has been announced that Rawson Marshall Thurber, director of actually some of my favorite comedies, he is going to be spearheading and showrunning a Dungeons and Dragons series. Now, if I bring this up here, let me just bring up Rawson here. There we go. Okay, so when you go back and talk about a lot of the movies that he's done, like some of my favorite comedies, and now, most recently, he has unfortunately done Red Notice, which is not so good. Okay, yeah, that one's not so good. But he did, with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he did Skyscraper. I didn't mind Skyscraper. He did Dodgeball.
Yes.
I love Dodgeball. He did We're the Millers. I really, really like We're the Millers. So he's done a number of things that I really quite like. But they're talking about he's going to be doing a Dungeons and Dragons live action TV series. Okay. In general, I love the idea of a live action D&D series. I really do. I do question about whether you can make it feel any good. Or is it going to feel like, no disrespect to Kevin Sorbo, is it going to feel like Hercules and the Great Adventures or whatever it's called, the Adventures of Hercules or whatever that was? Is it going to feel low budget, same hill in the background representing 18 different kingdoms and like some really bad puppets?
Dude, I want Game of Thrones versus meets Breaking Bad. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of what I want. So I worry about that a little bit, but still, I'm glad they're doing it. But the one thing that comes up in this article about them doing a live action D&D thing that makes me a little bit concerned is the guy from Hasbro. Because he said this, and this, I'll tell you why it concerns me a little bit. Adapting Dungeons & Dragons, this comes to us from the folks at Deadline. Adapting Dungeons & Dragons for television has been a big focus for E1, that's owned by Hasbro, by the way, for E1 following the company acquisition by Hasbro. E1's president of global television, Michael Lombardo, told Deadline in November, "We don't just want to be one show. We are building out, developing a multi-pronged approach for television, a number of scripted shows and unscripted, and we hope to be taking this out to the marketplace next year," he said back then. The flagship live-action series shepherded by Thurber is expected to serve as a cornerstone of the TV universe as it continues to expand. We're not just planning on doing this one thing. We've got, what's the catchphrase of everybody in Hollywood today? A cinematic universe planned out. This is just stage one. We're going to have this, and we're going to have this, and we're going to have this. And my thought is, have you learned fucking nothing from what happened with Universal and their monster universe? Have you learned nothing? And by the way, these are the same yahoos. And by the way, full disclosure, my wife worked with Hasbro for a while, and they were great. She loved her time at Hasbro. Wonderful, wonderful company. Really, really wonderful company. But remember about a year ago, maybe I have a terrible sense of time, but a while ago, they announced, we're doing Power Rangers again, and we're going to have this, and we're going to have that, and we're going to have this, and there's going to be 15 shows, there's going to be 39 TV specials, and there's going to be 18 movies, and I mean, we haven't seen crap. Whatever happened to the idea and the notion of make one? How about that? How about you make one, make it good, make it so people enjoy it, and then say, okay, yeah, now let's follow that up. I mean, I get it. Behind the scenes, you're like, okay, we're going to do this one, but what we're really hoping is that it really hits off, and we're going to be able to make a franchise out of this. That's cool. But when you go back again to that Universal's Monsters things, before The Mummy even came out, they were talking about, we've got Javier Bardem.
They had that picture.
And they had that huge picture. We got Javier Bardem, and we got Johnny Depp, and we got this person. We're going to be doing this movie, and this movie, and this movie, all before they ever put the first Mummy out. And then they put the first Mummy out because they had a plan. And as Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And Universal got punched in the mouth. And then instead of just like having one movie come out that didn't work, they humiliated themselves. They embarrassed themselves. It's like, where's this monster universe, Universal? They're trying to recover now and kind of restart that whole thing, and good on them. They should. But I'm just saying, I don't understand why this dude is coming out here and talking about shared universes, just the cornerstone of this massive television, scripted, unscripted, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you haven't put out one good thing yet. Put out one good thing. Put out your first series, first season, whatever. See if it works. See if people like it. And then move ahead. So I'm going to tell you right now. Well, I love the idea of a Dungeons & Dragons series. I'm a little bit concerned that they can have the budget to make it actually look and feel truly proper in today's world because the production values are going up. But I'm also really concerned that they are getting so far ahead of themselves. I, as a fan, can't believe you're putting all of your creative energy and attention into this show when it seems you're already planning 15 other shows. And you haven't even come out of the gate yet. And so I'm excited. I am. but I'm super pessimistic about the entire approach they seem to be taking with this. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this. What's your first reaction to the idea of a Dungeons and Dragons series?
Well, it could be very cool. You know, I remember playing in television. I think it was in television.
I love the Intellivision Dungeons and Dragons.
I
game.
loved it. I thought it was great. You know, I never owned an Atari 2600. I went directly to Intellivision, and I loved Intellivision. But here, John, one of my Burnett axioms is never put your universe before your characters and stories. And look, you know, the funny thing about everyone looks at Marvel, the most successful franchise in cinematic history, perhaps in the history of, well, history. And I think that everyone thinks that's easy to do. Like everyone looks at Marvel and goes, we're going to do it just like that. The problem is Marvel has one man at the top. You have Kevin Feige, and then you've got Louis Esposito, and you have Victoria Alonso. You have this troika of people that truly understand what they're doing. No other studio, no other corporation has anyone remotely similar to that. And Ronson Thurber is not, he's a talented guy, but it's not like, what's he going to be? The Favreau and Filoni of the Dungeons & Dragons universe?
By the way,
No.
you can't see it right now, Rob, but I've got the Intellivision Dungeons and Dragons graphic
Well,
up there right now.
I love
that
it.
game.
It was so good. I played it. I can't tell you how much I played that game. But you can't just decide you're going to do a cinematic universe like you just said. I mean, you know, we watched it with the comic book industry in the mid-'90s when everyone looked at what Image did. Well, we're going to do that too. As if that was easy. They forgot that Image had some of the greatest comic creators of all time. And if you look at Image Comics, there's a lesson there. What did Todd McFarlane do? He put out Spawn on time every month. That was before he started his action figure company or anything else. Like you just said, John, he concentrated on one thing, his core brand. He built that core brand out, and then he spun it off, as opposed to, I love Rob Liefeld, but he did Youngblood, and then he was doing Supreme, and he was doing Brigade, and he was doing all these things all at once, and the core comics sort of fell by the wayside, and those comics didn't do so well. You've got to concentrate on your core brand. You can't just decide, I'm going to have a cinematic universe. You have to earn it.
Yeah, and maybe they will, and I hope that they do.
I do too.
But it seems like they're dividing their attention when they haven't put out one thing yet.
No, it's like, let's make one great show, and then we'll have all these other shows come out around it, hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. You played in some tabletop role-playing game goodness, so you know how big I am into this. What do you think about the sounds of this?
I mean, is it going to be as good as the 2000 film?
That's high bar.
Not gonna have Jeremy Irons.
It's not going to have Jeremy Irons. Is it going to have that lovely tagline of "This is no game"? Like, I just want to know, how is this going to be different than other fantasy properties right now too? Right? We've got Vox Machina, we have Witcher, we have Wheel of Time, we have so many other things going on. Just to say it's D&D, I'm going to need more from you. I'm going to need a little more to see what this is actually going to be, because the fun thing about Dungeons and Dragons is it can be whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Yes, yeah.
So what's your show? What's your universe? I don't know anything that you're doing. So why would I be excited about an expanded universe if I don't know the sandbox you're playing in right now anyway?
Well, the funny thing about D&D, and I remember when D&D, when people first started playing it in like the late 70s, early 80s, it was this really miraculously cool thing. Like I remember getting the first edition of the Monster Manual. You know, it was awesome. But it was clearly a generic, like, okay, we can't do Lord of the Rings. So we're going to take these generic fantasy things, orcs, you know, or dwarves, or fighter, you know, thieves or whatever. And we're going to put all these generic, you know, we can't do the Sword of Shannara. We can't do Lord of the Rings. We can't do the Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever. So we'll do this generic fantasy game, which was awesome. But now all these specific fantasy worlds, whether, like you just pointed out, Witcher, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, have come out. And the specificity of those things is what makes them great. Dungeons and Dragons, how are you going to differentiate yourself from Game of Thrones or The Witcher?
Mm-hmm.
Or even Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, but look, I think one thing is clear that we can all agree on. By doing this, there is an incredible missed opportunity here. What they should be doing is a Mazes and Monsters with Tom Hanks. For those of you who don't know, back in the 80s, I think it was Tom Hanks' first thing.
Oh,
Tom Hanks played in the show, because this is back when Dungeons and Dragons first came out. it freaked the Christian right out.
Oh, yeah. You
We're
were
all
worshiping
satanic
Satan.
worshipers.
Yeah.
It was all about it. Was like Dungeons and Dragons was a gateway into Satanism and stuff like that.
They were
And-
right, by the way.
Yeah.
and they were absolutely right. But it came a long way because
That's why
I
I
was
found him.
working in a church and we had like this huge grand like boardroom and we had D&D games in it every Thursday night. We would like they like so like the church came a long way when it came, but when it first came out, everybody's freaked out about it and the parents are all freaked out. It's like, "Oh my God, like they would rather hear in the early 80s that their kid is experimenting with crack than find out their kid was playing D&D." And so out of that fear came this TV movie called Mazes and Monsters, where Tom Hanks plays a young guy. This is how old it was. He plays a young guy who he got all wrapped up in this world, and it ends famously with him standing on I think it was a bridge, and he was going to throw himself off the bridge because he believed he had a flying spell. And he's going to be able to cast his flying spell. And then he's all mentally
dude.
distraught. And that's what the game did to him.
Oh,
So
man.
I don't. But we've come a long way.
That's
And-
a Riverdale plot, too. That
wait,
that makes me really sad.
Wasn't it in Peacemaker last week when Economist is saying, "Who else should I have framed?" "Oh, I don't know. This guy, the assholes in Riverdale." Blah, blah, blah. I love that. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this news? Like, in general, I love the idea of doing a live action D&D. I really do. I even like Thurber. I mean, it's weird that the Marshals guy is doing it, but okay, still whatever. But this whole shared cinematic universe thing, getting ahead of themselves, can you really do it? Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be a little bit apprehensive. How do you guys feel about it? Jump down in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's do one more off the top here, shall we? And that is this. Last week, because today, if you are a Boba Fett fan, it's game day.
Game day.
It's Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett comes on tonight. Possibly the Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian Episode 2. We'll find out. So, obviously, last week in the Book of Boba Fett, it ends off with Mandalorian saying to Ming-Na Wen, "I got a little friend I got to visit first. Got to go visit a little friend." And he wasn't talking about Danny DeVito. He's saying, "I got to go visit a little friend." And which made us all just assume we're talking about Baby Yoda. Now, when I say that, I can already hear the millions of voices crying out, "John, his name is Grogu." Fuck you. It's Baby Yoda. It's always going to be Baby Yoda. So the question is, are we going to see Baby Yoda tonight? Are we going to see him? Because listen, we talked last year when Mandalorian was out and, Baby Yoda was leaving with Luke. It's like a lot of people saying, well, that's it. I mean, so now he's off the show now. And like we were saying, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Do you know what kind of a cash cow this little green puppet is?
He's so cute. Oh my
He's so
God.
cute. I mean, come on, I could just leave this image up all day and our ratings will go up. Our ratings go up just if I leave this image up. This little thing is a cash cow. It absolutely is. And we said right at the beginning, look, in Mandalorian Season 3, it may not be right at the beginning of the season. It might even not be by mid-season. But you bet your ass Baby Yoda's coming back. Because while everybody's watching, okay, yeah, Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 1, blah, 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 blah. When that Episode 1 ended, and we got our first look at this little guy, the internet exploded. And all of a sudden, people who don't give two squirts of urine about Star Wars were going, "Oh my God, you got to watch this. Look at this little thing." And tuning in and watching now. And it looks like they want to double down on that because with that little promise at the end of last episode, I cannot imagine that we are not going to see Baby Yoda tonight. Like, number one, like if you'd asked me when Book of Boba Fett was starting, do I think they're going to have Baby Yoda in this season or in this series? I would have said no. But would it be a good idea for them to use him? Sure, he's a marketing thing. But once you end off that last episode with Mando saying, "I got a little friend I got to visit," you are going to piss a lot of people off now if they don't see this little green face. So in raising the question of, do I believe tonight, because I had a few people asking me this on Twitter, do I believe tonight we are going to see Baby Yoda in Book of Boba Fett Episode 2? I think the answer is a resounding yes. I mean, I have no insider information. Nobody is telling me this. I just got to believe that we are going to see Baby Yoda tonight. And while I do believe this is also going to probably be a Mandalorian heavy episode, I really do hope they include Boba Fett in the episode. Like, I'd like to see Mando and Boba Fett going off together, or at least cutting back and forth between Mando going to visit the kid and, Boba Fett taking care of business, in Mos Espa. So I don't know. Rob, we saw how last week's episode ended. We know how popular this character is. Are you expecting, number one, that we're going to see Baby Yoda tonight? And number two, how much, if any, do you think we're going to see Boba Fett in Boba Fett tonight?
That's what I was going to say. I think we'll see Baby Yoda, Grogu, in episode 7. Because
so not tonight.
We need to get back to our Boba Fett show, don't we? Like, John, last episode made Boba Fett a jobber in his own show. Like, I am not a wrestling guy. I didn't understand until I was streaming with you and you were talking about Taylor Hoechlein's Superman in this CW Supergirl series. You called him the jobber Superman.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, as of last week, has become a jobber in his own show.
Well, nobody's beat him, though.
Well, I don't know, man. He's been beaten by a lot of people, and he was going to get beat by the Sarlacc if he didn't move the Slave One out of position. I mean, I really am perplexed, and I think tonight will solidify this about what the Book of Boba Fett was supposed to achieve. If it was supposed to assemble the Mandalorian Magnificent Seven to begin the retaking of Mandalore, I can understand that. But I haven't seen that from Boba Fett himself. I've seen it from last week's. I mean, to me, the direction they seem to be setting up with last week's episode of The Mandalorian was really interesting. I'm like, I want to watch that show. So to me, I think that tonight's episode is going to be really pivotal in terms of how the show is perceived. Maybe they'll throw Grogu into it, but I would imagine unless, we've got the rumored Han Solo appearance or something else, which they might do. I don't know. I would think they would save that for the last episode. There's only 2 episodes of this show left.
So, I mean, because how many? There's 7?
There's 7. Tonight's 6.
Is tonight 6?
Yeah, there's only 2 more episodes.
Yeah, so you got to think that next episode has got to be the assembling of, you say, like the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Chris, let me ask you. Do you think we're going to see Baby Yoda tonight? But let me add another question to that. Mm-hmm. If we do, and if your answer to that question is yes, then a second part to that, does that mean we're going to see another Luke cameo? Could we see a Skywalker tonight and stuff like this? I don't know. What do you expect to see here?
Honestly, before Rob started talking, I was like, yes, we're going to see him. And then I was like, oh, do we put him in the penultimate episode? Or do we wait till that finale? That's an excellent, excellent point. In our last episode, though, our Mando episode, we did have Luke's body double as that other X-Wing fighter. So he's already been around set.
I forgot about that.
He's already hanging out. They might as well just put him in another episode, put his dots on his face, and let's do this.
Let me ask you guys this. There is that rumored Han Solo maybe being
right.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's the 2 of them?
Luke and Han?
What if it's Luke and Han because they're in a position where it's 5 years after the fall of the Empire? Maybe Leia and Han already have young Ben Solo.
2 digitally de-aged characters standing beside each other, holding completely still as much as they can.
Yeah, who knows? If I was going to go big or go home, maybe our Mandalorian characters go, will you help us retake Mandalore?
Well, I'll tell you what, though, if you want to have a moment that could beat the pop of like Baby Yoda showing up tonight, having Luke and Han on screen together,
dude.
That would probably do it. That would create a moment,
especially if they have some part to play.
Yes.
In the retaking of Mandalore, that it becomes the New Republic a sanctioned thing for the New Republic to help out doing.
Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think we're going to get out of the Book of Boba Fett tonight? Are we going to see a lot more Mandalorian? Are we going to see more involvement of Boba Fett in his own show? Are we going to see Baby Yoda? If so, do you think we could see a Luke cameo? Whatever you guys are thinking and speculating, jump on down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's take a minute, pay some bills, and thank the sponsor of today's episode, the good folks over at Stamps.com. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of today's episode, Stamps.com. Now, you know Stamps.com. They've been supporting the John Campea Show for a while here. Now, let's face it. Going to the post office is time-consuming and really not the way you want to be spending your time. And that's why I highly recommend you do your mailing and shipping online with Stamps.com. Stamps.com allows you to mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. You can send letters, ship packages, and you can pay a lot less with discounted rates from UPS, USPS, and more. You see, that's why Stamps.com is a must-have for any business. Whether you're a small office sending out invoices, an online seller shipping out your orders, whether you're somebody who's just trying to send things out to your friends and family, or if you're a giant warehouse like sending out thousands of packages a day, Stamps.com can handle all of it with absolute ease. And here's the best thing. With Stamps.com, you get up to 40% off of post office rates and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. And this is why Stamps.com is an absolute no-brainer. It saves you time, it saves you money. It's no wonder that nearly 1 million small businesses already use Stamps.com. So stop wasting your time going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with my promo code Campea, just go up to that microphone up in the corner, click on that and enter my code Campea. You get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale, no long-term commitments or contracts needed. Again, just go to Stamps.com, click on that microphone at the top and enter the promo code Campea. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. And once again, we want to thank the folks over at Stamps.com for sponsoring your episode of the John Campea Show. Don't forget, guys, make sure you use that promo code Campea. All right, with that down, let's now move on to our main topics here today. And how do we select our main topics on the John Campea Show? It's simple. You guys come up with them. See, whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question and whatever issue it is you want us to bring up. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. That down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
This is from Box Office Fan. No Way Home is breaking movie records, but Encanto is breaking music records, John. Soundtrack has been in first place for some time. We Don't Talk About Bruno is in second place on the single charts, and now it's tied with the Aladdin song Whole New World as best-selling Disney animated song of all time and may pass it. This is crazy. What do you think of this, and why is this song and soundtrack so big right now?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that, in Box Office Fan. And yeah, Encanto has been, as far as the music of it goes, has been ripping it up. And it's been great. I really enjoyed Encanto. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not Up. It's not Ratatouille. But I really enjoyed Encanto. It was a sweet, charming film with some absolutely wonderful music in it. And We Don't Talk About Bruno. That's kind of become the song. I mean, that's a song where the song itself has achieved way more success than the movie itself did. As a matter of fact, it is not the number 2 song on Billboard. It is now the number 1 song on Billboard. And it's the first Disney song to be number 1 on the Billboard charts in 29 years. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety who write the following. We Don't Talk About Bruno, the surprise hit of the Encanto soundtrack, has gone where even Let It Go couldn't. It's become the first song from a Disney movie to reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart since A Whole New World from Aladdin did it in 1993. It joins the Encanto album itself as a chart topper, as the animated film soundtrack remains atop the Billboard 200 chart for the 3rd time in the last 4 weeks. Some other stats Billboard points out, Bruno, solely penned by Lin-Manuel Miranda, becomes the first Hot 100 chart topper to have been written by a solo writer in more than 4 years. That is a WTF? Is that what the music industry now is? All songs are written by committee?
Yeah.
You get like 15 different writers writing a song? Like, no. Lin-Manuel's like, no, I got this. This is fantastic. You know, I was so taken with it. I actually went back. I loaded it up and watched a bit of Encanto again the other night. Really taken with the charm of it. But when you watch the part of the movie where they're singing We Don't Talk About Bruno, the dance choreography in the anime, it's weird to talk about choreography, whether it's fight choreography or dance choreography in an animated film. But the dance choreography of it was wonderful. Hearing all the sisters singing and the aunt and the uncle talking about their wedding day and whatever. It's absolutely charming. And it makes me wonder. Here's the thing. it makes me wonder, do you guys remember back before, what is the name of the snow animated movie again?
Frozen?
Frozen, thank you. The snow one, the one with the snow.
Let it go, John.
Just let it go. Before that movie came out, Disney had the brilliant idea of like, you know what, this Let It Go song is pretty awesome. And like, it just is. That song is great. Let's put out the entire scene of the movie. Remember that? But like, it was like a month before Frozen came out. They're like, let's put out the entire scene, that entire musical sequence. Let's put it out. And it exploded. And that movie went on, I believe, to join the $1 billion club. I think Frozen joined the $1 billion club. And I think in large part because of that marketing move to release that song. I have a feeling We Don't Talk About Bruno's success is just as much of a surprise to the people at Disney as anybody. Because I think if they thought and if they knew this song was going to be as catchy as it is, they probably would have taken advantage of that same marketing trick of put out that scene a month before the movie comes out. Get everybody hyped about it because, again, we said it jokingly, but the song is experiencing more success than the movie did. So, but listen, I couldn't be happier for it. I think it's totally charming. Chris, you had a chance. You saw this news. Wow, that's not Chris.
I look different.
That's not Chris at all.
Whoa.
Let's do this. You had a chance to see that. You had a chance to see this news. It's number one on the Billboard Top 100. Are you surprised by this? What's the influence of it? What do you think of it overall? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I want to say I'm surprised, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and everyone's doing TikToks to it. It's really, really blown up. It's such a fun musical, and I love this movie so much. I love that we don't have like a big bad. We're dealing with just like familial generational trauma and overcoming that. I think it's such a great, well-written movie. The music is so delightful, and yeah, I mean, you look at a Beyonce track now, and there's like 17 writers on it, y'all. So Lin-Manuel, he's doing all the work himself. He deserves all this. I can't wait for that man to EGOT.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna happen.
Has he not EGOT
He's
already?
not-
What's
he's
he
not
got left? What's he got left?
I think an Oscar.
Does
Yeah.
or did he get an Oscar? Did he get an Oscar for You're Welcome? I can't remember.
I think he keeps getting nominated.
Okay, that might be it.
But-
But side note on Lin-Manuel Miranda, he revealed the other day he's been asked to host the Oscars. He turned it down though. He said it's not my skill set. He said that's not what I'm. He said I'll write for other people hosting. Apparently he wrote for Neil Patrick Harris when he was hosting the Emmys.
That opening number was
and
so
he also
good.
he wrote. Apparently he also wrote for Hugh Jackman, I think. But he said, yeah, they asked me before to host the Oscars. I just won't. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this? You surprised that it hit number one, and do you think there was some way they could have parlayed this into big success for the movie?
No, I mean, when I first heard about this song, I thought it was like a Sacha Baron Cohen thing, like why because Borat is better. Like I didn't quite understand, but I think Lin-Manuel Miranda's genius is if you look at what you had Hamilton on Disney Plus, the film version of it. You had In the Heights come out. You had Encanto, Vivo. He directed Tick, Tick, Boom, which was still my favorite movie of 2021.
So good.
I mean, is he the Kevin Feige of musical theater and movies and whatever? I mean, has there ever been a talent such as his? I mean, the guy is a supernova of talent. And whenever I've seen him appear on like late night talk shows or something, he seems like a tremendous guy to work with, and what a talented dude. So it does not surprise me that this song has developed the kind of following that it's developed. And as Chris pointed out, I mean, now I've been seeing TikTok videos. I haven't even seen this movie yet, but I really want to, if for no other reason than everything he touches turns to gold. And the thing is, the song's good.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
I mean, I've never seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie. I've heard the song a million times, and I really like the song.
And have we met? I mean, I brought up it briefly there for a second, but Moana. Go sticking on Lin-Manuel Miranda. Moana is so wonderful, and that song, I still have it on my playlist. There's a line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me. Oh, that's like one of the best lyrics ever. I listen to that song, and then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson singing "You're Welcome." That song. I mean, all the music and everything in there. The dude's a genius. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto, a movie that wasn't even like a huge hit, becoming the number one song, the first Disney number one song in almost 30 years on that? Does that surprise you? Does it not? What do you guys think about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Second one is coming from Chris Toms. Hi, John. In October, you posted a video with Rob talking about the movies you were most excited to see that month. And it got me super excited to see multiple movies, multiple times, for the first time ever. This channel got me into movies as a whole, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Which movies are you most excited to see in theaters this month, and why is it Uncharted? Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Chris. And yes, it is a new month. It's a brand new month, and we've got brand new movies coming out. And you know what? There's a couple of ones coming out here in February, the sleepy little month of February, that look pretty interesting. Now, I should say this. There's probably like 30 or 40 movies coming out. A lot of them are qualified as limited release. And while some of them look really, really good, we're going to kind of focus right now on the movies that all of us are going to be able to get to see in theaters if you want to see them. So we're going to kind of focus on the wide release films, if you will. So let's run down through a bunch of these wide release films and, talk about what's coming. Then we'll talk about the things we're most excited about. All right. First up, coming out this week, February 4th, we got Jackass Forever. I'm not going to lie. I'm very excited about it. I bought tickets for me and Ray. Ray is not so excited. He doesn't do physical pain on screen very well. He's not super stoked about that. But hey, we're going to see with him. We're going to see if he can actually enjoy it as well. So February 4th, we've got not just Jackass Forever. Ladies and gentlemen, the moon is falling. Moonfall is also coming out this week. That got Ray up and going.
Get you to the theaters.
Moonfall.
Do we pretend like it never happened?
I think it's one of those movies that I'm going to reassess one day on cable.
Me too. I was
And
thinking the same
I'll
thing.
definitely watch it again. I mean, look, you know what?
I'll watch it a second time.
I look, while it was going on, I was enjoying watching it. I enjoyed the experience of watching it. It was only when it was over that I wished it was sillier and bigger and crazier and had a little bit more verisimilitude.
Just a little,
If you're gonna go dumb hard.
If you're gonna
You know what I
go
mean?
dumb, go dumb hard.
Yeah.
I
the
like
thing
that.
but I didn't want it to go Sharknado hard. I wanted it to go like differently.
Yeah. There's
Put
so
it
much,
this way, comedy of the year for me.
so much
Moonfall.
different I wanted from that. So much different. Okay. Now we're move on to February 11th. And on February 11th, we've got a movie that you have never seen, but you've seen 18 times. It's Liam Neeson in Blacklight. Now, I have not seen Blacklight. I haven't even seen a trailer for Blacklight.
Oh, I have.
I can tell you what Blacklight's about, though. I don't know. I haven't seen a single trailer. I haven't read a single thing. I can tell you what Blacklight's about. It's about the same thing that Liam Neeson's last 10 movies have been about. They're all the same. They're all completely the same. And that's not necessarily a horrible thing because, it's Liam Neeson. Nobody does Liam Neeson's like Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson's.
The Liam Neesons?
Liam Neeson's.
He's Liam Neeson. And if you're into watching Liam Neeson kick some ass, that probably might be a movie for you. All right. Then also on February 11th, we are talking about, this is one that I've been shaking my head about since it first got announced, Marry Me, with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. I like Jennifer Lopez. I really like Owen Wilson. I loved his turn in Loki. I loved him in Loki. I've loved him since Shanghai Noon. I've been a big Owen Wilson fan. And one of my all-time favorite comedies, Zoolander. Hansel. He's so hot right now. Hansel. I love that. I love him so much. But the moment I saw the first trailer for this, I almost audibly groaned in the theater. All right. Yes, I'll marry you. The guy comes up there, they get married, and I wonder if they're going to fall in love. It looks, I don't know, this might be the best movie of the year for all I know. I know Ann wants to see it, so we'll probably go see it.
I'll go with Ann.
So, there's Marry Me. Also coming out on the 11th, though, is one I am more excited to see, which is Death on the Nile. Now, when we came out of seeing Moonfall, we were kind of frolicking in the theater lobby there, and Dennis Zen comes walking up to me. I'm like, Dennis, were you here for Moonfall? He goes, no, I was here for an advanced screening of Death on the Nile.
I didn't see him.
I'm like, well, we went to the wrong screening.
Yeah.
We definitely went to the wrong one.
Or the right one, John.
Or
Come
the
on
right
now.
one.
Or
Yes.
you mean the new Dennis then, with the Kevin Sorbo hair? You
Yeah,
know,
like
he got
Dennis
so long now.
Dennis doesn't look the way for the last year and a half. Every time he comes over to my house, his hair gets longer and longer and longer.
I'm like,
and longer.
he's like Hercules now.
He is not the Dennis Zen you once remembered, but when
He's Louis Tan now.
so Dennis said he actually quite liked it.
Oh, he did.
He didn't say movie of the year or anything like that, but he said he quite liked it. So looking at Death on the Nile, that comes out on the 11th. So looking forward to that. Okay. Next up, coming out on February 18th, it's Uncharted. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am very excited for this movie. But I'm also going to tell you it's not my most anticipated movie of February. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It's not my most anticipated movie of February. But with all the trailers and everything, I've liked I know a lot of people go, that he doesn't look like that. You know what? He's a really great actor. I think he's going to kill this. I think this movie's going to be a lot of fun.
That's a really hurtful impression of me.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry. But I think this is going to be really, really good. I'm looking forward to Uncharted a lot. Okay. Next up, also coming out on that same day, is Channing Tatum's Dog.
Okay, I was going to say, my most eagerly awaited movie of February.
Oh, you're not supposed to reveal that yet. I was going to come around and ask everybody. But there you
Sorry.
go. Now, you gave it all away. So,
Oh, just skip next.
kind of.
listen, there's a lot of people watching this trailer for Dog and really finding it very charming. And I mean, I'm a dog guy, so I'm a sucker for any kind of like dog movies, and the trailers aren't bad. It's not high on my anticipated list, but I gotta say, I am definitely going to give this a shot because it looks like it's got some potential. Next up is one of the craziest looking films, easily the craziest film of the month, and I'm very, very excited for it. Studio 666. It's literally the Foo Fighters making their 10th album. And they decide, we got to mix up how we're going to be really creative with this new album. Let's like rent a house somewhere and just move into the house all together. And we're going to write this album together. Except that the house is sitting on a hellmouth. Of course it is. And suddenly the Foo Fighters and lead singer and all they become a conduit for demonic beings coming through and all this kind of stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
No, dude.
The band, the Foo
The
Fighters.
band of Foo Fighters.
This
yes.
is a real. Okay.
Yes.
It really happened. It's a documentary.
Oh, is
I
it?
said at first I thought it might be a documentary about the Foo Fighters and their creation process of the 10th album. But I'm watching this trailer, I'm like, this is nuts. What the hell are they doing? And at the end of the trailer, I'm like, this is probably going to be the worst cinematic movie in history. But oh my God, I want it right now.
Come on now.
I want this right now. I cannot wait to watch this. This to me just looks crazy and bonkers and weird. And you know what? Kudos to them for doing it. So I'm looking forward to seeing Studio 666. Now that leads us to the final movie of the month, also coming out on the 25th, which actually is my most anticipated movie of the month. Cyrano, which is also it's easily in my top 3 most anticipated movies of the year, period. Maybe top 2. I mean, The Batman is number 1, but this might be in my top 2. Again, you've heard me tell this story before. Aaron and I were at CinemaCon. I knew nothing about Cyrano other than, he was going to be in it. And other than Dinklage being in this Cyrano thing, I had no idea what it was really going to be about. And I forgot all about it. And then they showed us like 10 minutes of Cyrano. And Aaron and I were both like, this is amazing. And it's a musical as well. But I'm telling you, so this is my most anticipated of the year. So once again, we've got Cyrano, we got Studio 666. I cannot wait for that. We got Dog. Remember, this is all in February. We got Uncharted. We got Death on the Nile. We've got Marry Me. We've got Blacklight. We've got Moonfall. And we've got coming up this week, Jackass. So Rob, I know we already know it's Dog.
No, it's not. I was kidding.
Oh, were you kidding?
Yeah, no,
I wasn't kidding. There's a lot of people very excited about Dog.
I really do want to see.
What stands out to you the
it's
most?
Cyrano. I mean,
It is Cyrano.
yeah, I've been hearing about this movie not just from you, but Dinklage has been on the talk show circuit. It looks fantastic. The pedigree of the makers, this movie is incredible. I'm sure it is. It looks right up my alley. So Cyrano's the number 1. But there's some really other crazy movies. I mean, Dog looks so heartwarming, and the story of the movie where Channing Tatum, takes on the dog whose master was killed, an army service
buddy
dog.
is, yeah.
and no one can touch the dog but him. They become friends. I mean, irresistible. Isn't there a horror movie coming out called Cursed this month?
Oh.
I did not
I don't know. Maybe
see it.
There's one called The Long Night.
I thought Cursed was coming out this month. I wasn't sure, but that's another movie I was looking forward to. Maybe not this month, but yeah, Cyrano, of course, Uncharted, but Dog and Cyrano, the movies that most stick out to me.
Ray, let me ask you. You heard a bunch of movies. Listen, now we know what would have been your number like a week ago.
No, it still is, because there's a different version of Moonfall. I know it.
He's still anticipating it.
We'll recut it, man. We'll do a fan edit of Moonfall.
We just saw an early cut, right? You're just convincing yourself we just saw an early cut.
No, you know what? After you read that description of Studio 666, I'm all in for that, baby.
That one
Sounds interesting. And Dog. That's it.
I know, because Ray is also like a really big dog guy.
It looks great.
Yeah, I think. Listen, it could end up being the best movie of the month. Honestly speaking, it
I
really
love the
could end
moment
up
in the
being
trailer
that.
when he's like, "I can see."
I can see it's kind of crazy. Chris, what about you? Which of these movies are standing out to you?
Oh, I am a sucker for dog movies too, so that one for sure. Death on the Nile. I used to go see those Agatha Christie plays all the time in Houston, so I love those. But Studio 666, and I don't do well with like horror, but I think it's gonna be spooky and funny. I do well with spooky. That's okay with me. So I'm really excited about that one. And I have already seen Cyrano. I need to unpack all of my screeners. I am interested to see what you all have to say about it.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Listen, again, there are a couple of bad looking things here. Yes, but I am really looking forward to Jackass. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Death on the Nile. I'm super excited about Uncharted. I think Studio 666 looks great. Cyrano looks great, and Dog could be.
And you
really,
know,
I mean, this looks like a pretty good month.
As far as Neeson's goes, Blacklight looks like a good Neeson's movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's been pulling ops for like the CIA or whatever, and then his boss does some
You just
shenanigans.
described 7 of his films.
And he goes after his boss or whatever. Come on, man.
But I mean, but that's the thing about these. If these Neeson's movies work for you, if that formula works for you, then this is going to be a movie that's for you. So, I mean, nothing wrong with a good Neeson film. Anyway, guys.
By the way, there's also a Bruce Willis movie coming out because we know how good those are.
What Bruce Willis movie is coming out?
Not with Owen Wilson, but with Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson, and it's called it's one of those cheesy direct to video.
Okay, so it's going to stream. This isn't theatrical.
But I think it has to be like theatritrical for like a week or something. And
No, I got another one too.
I want to
Because I'm not seeing anything on here on the release schedule.
I have it.
Here,
Yeah, I'm
John?
sure it's not
Yeah,
on
right.
the major release.
J
schedule.
Master pointed out. Free Guy goes on to Disney Plus.
That's right. Free
yeah.
Guy comes on
February
Disney Plus.
23rd, baby.
Hang on, I'm gonna find it.
And seriously, I honestly, Free Guy, it's not the best movie of the year. It's not, but there were not many movies that came out last year that so pleasantly surprised me.
I can't wait.
Fun.
Like,
I
it's
love it.
Gasoline
So fun.
Alley. It's called Gasoline Alley.
Yeah, there's no movie coming out theatrically this month called Gasoline Alley, so that's.
But it's coming to your VOD.
But
Not
it's
where you want
coming.
gasoline.
Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about the month of February? There's some stinker looking ones, but hey, sometimes it's the stinker looking ones that ends up being really great. But I think there's also a good number of really promising looking films, especially Cyrano, Uncharted. I'm looking forward to Jackass, that's Studio 666. What's standing out to you the most? Which of these films are you most excited to see this month? Jump on down to the comment section below.
Is this a leap year, John? Is 2022 a leap year?
I do not know.
Because that's an extra day of movie watching in February.
That's
so.
an extra day movie, but
If I'm going
although
to get in that Gasoline Alley screening, it's going to be on the 29th.
the 25th is the last day of new movies coming out, so kind of irrelevant. Anyway, guys, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This one is coming from Justin Riley. I was wondering if you had thoughts on a recent Variety article talking about how Netflix shows, even their hits like Squid Game, tend to fizzle out shortly after release. Do you think this is an issue they need to address?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Justin. And you know what? I feel like this is a topic that comes up a lot, which is the whole debate. We're still in the middle of it all. To me, the debate's done, but there are still a lot of people holding on to this. The debate of what is the better release strategy for streaming? Week-to-week releases or dropping the whole season at once? I have made the argument for a long time that while I personally really do like binging, I'm a binger. You know, a show drops, I want to sit down, I want to power all the way through it, right? That's kind of what I do. But There is no question anymore. Study after study after study has shown that if you are a streamer, releasing your content week after week is what will yield you your best results. We go back, of course, and we look at something like WandaVision, which the first couple of episodes started very modestly. By the 5th week, it was the #1 show in the world because people saw it, buzzed about it for a week. And then there's another new episode the following week. More people buzzed about it. Other people haven't seen it yet. Hear the buzz about it. They start watching. And then the hype starts up again the following week. Hell, we on this show are always talking about game day because we know every week we get new Peacemaker. We get new whatever it is that's playing at the moment, right? So we've seen that over and over and over again. But now there's another new study that has come out that is basically saying what I think a lot of us probably already knew. The Netflix shows, and remember, primarily, they have some that are exceptions like Arcane, but primarily, Netflix takes their seasons of television, drop them all at once. What this new study is showing is that these shows, while very popular at first, almost instantly die. That nobody is watching them in the second month. Like they get all their viewership in that 1 month, and then it dies. And nobody talks about it anymore. We talked about this before. It's like I remember when Punisher season 2 came out. I love Punisher season 2. And everybody talked about it for 3 or 4 days. And then nobody talked about it again. Nobody asked any questions about it. Nobody sent in any topics about it. None of my friends brought it up. We talked about it like crazy for the first week. And then it was gone. It just disappeared. WandaVision, we talked about for months. Mandalorian season 1, we talked about for months. Mandalorian season 2, we talked about for months. And that's that. But here's some interesting things that come up out of this particular study. This comes to us from Variety. This is the wrong one. There it is. This comes to us from Variety. He writes, virtually all of the 10 most viewed new Netflix titles of 2021 among TV Time app users saw self-reported viewership in the TV Time app significantly slow after their debut month. For example, 73% of the global TV Time app users who've noted watching Squid Game in TV Time as of January 14th did so in the first month following the Korean series debut. Just 20% of the total self-reported viewing that Squid Game had received in TV Times as of January 14th happened in the second month following the show's premiere. How rapidly these series lose their steam among viewers has to be considered a factor in how much the Los Gatos-based streamer, that's Netflix, has to spend on original programming to supply that need to be constantly replenished to deliver the hits required to attract subscribers. Wells Fargo anticipates that Netflix will spend, get this, $19 billion in cash on content this year. They will spend $19 billion in content this year. And the reason they have to spend $19 billion is because their shows have no shelf life. They come, they hit quick, and they get out. Sounds like Ray's dating profile. Comes, hits quick.
Wow.
I don't know why I said
pleasures.
that.
No.
I instantly regret saying that. But at any rate. But that's the thing. There is no longevity. And here's the thing. The longer shows are being watched, the more new audiences are attracted to it. That's why when WandaVision came out, its numbers started low. But it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and more people got attracted to the show. So by the time you peaked into its third month, it was hitting the biggest numbers it ever had. And Disney didn't have to put out nearly as much new original content as Netflix did. Therefore, Netflix has to spend more money to compensate for this. Now, I still want to see more than one Disney Plus premium TV series running at a time. Because right now they only do one at a time. It's either like a Star Wars show or it's a Marvel show, and they only run them one at a time. I like to see them doing I'd like to have 2 days a week that I can look forward to a premium content. But whatever. The point is that this is yet another big log of information that's come in to show that this release strategy of dropping your entire season at once, regardless of how much you and I may scream at the screen saying, but I like watching it that way. I get it. But it doesn't change anything.
You could.
You still
You
can.
could
You can
just
wait
wait.
till the series done.
Yeah.
then watch it all later if you want. But it just, again, it shows that the proper, and that's why I still believe in within about 3 years, I think you're really going to see Netflix really starting to transition, get a little bit more selective about how much crap they crank out, go to a weekly or even like a modified hybrid thing like they did with Arcane. 3 episodes one week, 3 episodes the next week, 3 episodes the next. I mean, you could even do that. That's fine too. That's good. But give your shows the opportunity to build an audience. That is what HBO does, and it works. That's what Disney Plus is doing, and it works. Netflix, they hit hard, and then they disappear. They fizzle. As it says in the thing, it sizzles. It goes from sizzle to fizzle quickly. And that's not a good long-term strategy, and it means you got to pay more and more and more. And even though they're doing all that paying, Rob, you brought it the other day, their stock prices are starting to drop. And I think this is the way to address it. Anyway, Rob, we've had this conversation many times over the years.
It's true.
What do you think about this new piece of information? Was that kind of reaffirmed for you, or what new bits does it bring up for you?
Well, look, I'm fascinated by the whole streaming wars idea the way it is, because we've talked about on the show that the streamers are spending 100% to 150% of their subscriptions on content. It's unsustainable. They can't. And there's only so many people in the world. There's a finite number of resources that they're going to be spending money on. And they're eventually going to top out. You can't get 1 billion or 2 billion or 3 billion subscribers because there's just people that don't have access or whatever. But that said, all of pop culture, when TV shows end, like who talks about Game of Thrones anymore? It was the biggest show ever. Maybe people will talk about how it ended, but it's gone. I remember X-Files was like biggest thing in the world. 9 seasons, it disappears. In the case of Netflix, it doesn't go over seasons. It goes over a week. Like I was so excited for Ozark season 4. Elizabeth and I tore through those episodes, and I'm like, it's in and out of my mind. I loved it. It was like snorting 2 beautiful fatty rails of pure uncut Peruvian flake, right? And you're just like, yeah. And you have a great night. You wake up the next morning a little hungover, but it's done.
I paid for this nose. I don't know about that life.
I mean, you're on to the next. You are on to the next. It's over. The thing is over. And what people like right now, there's a new Korean series called All of Us Are Dead. It's like 13 episodes long. The whole thing is set at a school. I don't know how they can sustain 13 hours at a school, but the first episode was great. And so I will binge that, and then it will be done. And the experience is over. Now, I think what's interesting is if you extend it by a month or 2, you still wind up with the same problem because people will watch the show and then they're done. You ride that wave. Squid Game was the biggest show in the world. Everybody's talking about it. But when you're done, it's kind of over.
Right. But the question becomes, how much benefit will you get from will you get 1 month of benefit, or will you get 2 or 3 months of benefit because of this?
Yeah, the real question is, how many new subscribers do you get?
Yeah, that's ultimately the question.
And that's what I really wonder. And for you and I think Netflix is terrific because I can explore Netflix forever. There's nothing to watch. There is, though. There's foreign shows. There's documentaries. I mean, I started watching the Great British Bake Off or baking show. I loved it. Then I realized, the same people did the ceramic show on HBO Max. So I go over there, and I'm like, I've been watching these Great British whatever you're going to make. I mean, and it's you have all seasons there. So I think the secret of Netflix is going to be to get people to come back and figure out how people can watch shows that are already on Netflix that they don't know they'd like. And that's the future of Netflix.
It brings up the other part, too, about the longevity and the fact that when you give a show an opportunity to build momentum and get traction. So, like, WandaVision was growing. And, like, as you got into week 2 and 3 and 4 and people kept talking and talking and talking, then people were like, well, I guess I got to sign up to Disney Plus. And if they didn't then they heard everybody talking about it again on week 5, and they were, well, I guess now I got to sign up to Disney Plus. And you had all that, whereas you're pointing out, you drop it all at once, you watched it, you're done, you moved on, you're not talking about it anymore to all your friends and families for 6 weeks to gain those new subscribers.
Right. No, it's true. Although, I mean, then there's something new. Like,
Yep.
I watched, and so what do? I mean, ultimately, what's going to happen is they can't sustain the amount of money they're spending on these shows. They can't spend, what did you say, 18 billion?
19 billion.
19 billion. They can't sustain that. Their shareholders are going to be like, yo, give us a little bit more of a taste. I mean, you're spending all of the money on these programs. Where's our dividends? Where's our, how are we going to make some money here?
Is that why we don't see a lot of marketing for their shows?
Because there's just so much of it.
No, or they spend so much money on the content that they don't have money to market. Like that show you just mentioned, like we don't see commercials of.
No, all of us are dead.
Yeah,
like nobody. I saw a commercial, like they put up like one trailer, but beyond that, where do you see? Unless you're watching, like I now look out for Netflix show trailers. Like all right, Netflix Korea. That's, suddenly when I saw the Hellbound trailers, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta see that. And then Hellbound comes out, and it's over. Like you binge it in a day, and then you're done.
Oh yeah,
it's like Netflix Korea horror.
I've never
and then it's
seen
like all of us are dead.
Promotion on TV at all, like for Netflix.
Well, a lot
shows.
of networks won't allow advertising for another network.
Yeah.
On the thing.
And
Unless-
also-
but again, it goes back to the thing that because you're just dropping it all, and then it's the conversation's done week. You got to put out so much content that I actually do think, Ray, that's a probably one of the big reasons why they're so bad at marketing the materials, because they've got so much stuff coming out. They don't know where to put their marketing dollars.
No, and I really do think people tell me that they see, like when I turn on my Netflix, I don't see trailers.
Yeah.
Do you see trailers?
No.
Nope. They
I have
do
to
with the other
look.
stuff. Chris, you're seeing all this. What do you make of all this?
Well, I mean, kind of bouncing off what Rob's saying too. And when they do suggest something for you to watch after you finish something, it's not always relevant. Where it'll
Yeah,
be like, hey,
right,
you just
yeah.
watched this. You just watched Miraculous Tales of Ladybug. Why don't you get into Narcos? And I'm like, what? These seem different. But it is so very set it and forget it when you binge it, because I watched the newest season of You in a day, and
Right.
and then I never spoke about it again till this moment.
And a week goes by and you've completely
and then
forgotten
you
what
don't
happened.
think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you were talking about the kind of mixed version of like Arcane or Apple TV is doing that too, where with the After Party, they drop 3 episodes so that
Yeah.
you get the rhythm of the show. You understand what you're coming in
Anna's
for.
obsessed with that show, by the way.
It's so good.
I
was
just
listening
watched
to
an
the
episode
soundtrack.
last night. You only get
only
one
get one
shot twice.
Yes.
By John Ralphio. I was here. Ben Schwartzman. Oh my God, that is
Ben
one of my
Schwartz.
favorite songs of the year. You
I
only
love
get
him
one
so
shot
much.
twice.
He
You guys
is
just-
to me as Tom Hanks is to Anne. I love him.
You guys just need to slow down on your watching. Like I was telling Rob, I just finished for All of Mankind season 2, and I watch one episode every day.
We
know,
we
How
do
would
a
we be
media
good
show
pundits
though.
if we don't know what the hell's on TV?
I'm just saying, I don't need to rush. I'll sleep through a couple episodes and just go back. It's a monthly viewing for me.
Monthly viewing. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this new report? Maybe you're like me and you kind of, as a viewer, you like binging, but maybe you're also like, yeah, but if I'm a business guy, there are clearly more benefits for putting out week to week. How do you guys see all this? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move into our fourth and final main topic today. Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
This one is from Nathan Eddington. Hey, John, my question is about the Batman. What are your predictions about the box office for the Batman? Spider-Man No Way Home did really well during the pandemic. Will the Batman be successful too?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And that has been really the big question that's been out and about for a while, is like, how is Batman going to do? Now, we've all already established it's my number one most anticipated film of the year. Like, I'm losing my mind. The fact that it's in March 4th, I'm trying not to every day. You know what? Starting tomorrow, we're probably going to start every show with a countdown clock about how far we are away from the opening of the Batman. It is my most anticipated film of the year. I cannot wait to watch it. Everything they have put out has looked amazing. Every promo. That one poster wasn't so great, but aside from that, every promo, every TV spot, every movie trailer. The best thing about our movie-going experience watching Moonfall was they showed that big, full, glorious, Batman trailer up there on that big prime screen. It was fantastic. But the question has been, how is it going to do at the box office? And it's difficult to say for any movie that's still a month out. And we are 1 month and 3 days. See, the countdown starts now. We are 1 month and 3 days away from the Batman hitting theaters and us seeing it. You got to get to within about a week or two to really get a sense of the momentum building and all that kind of stuff. I've always thought this, though. It's not going to do Spider-Man numbers.
No.
You know, Spider-Man came out, and Ray, you're going to have to double check this for me. The opening weekend box office for Spider-Man, I think it was 250. I want to say 250, but Ray, if you can look that up for me at any rate. So how's this going to do? I don't see the Batman doing that as much as I want it to.
No.
It's a different kind of movie and all that kind of stuff. There's going to be, again, we've talked about this. There are hurdles with the Batman. Hurdle number one, the Batman doesn't have the best rep right now with some average movie fans. While I certainly like Batman versus Superman and Justice League and things like that, there are a lot of people who didn't like those things.
You're talking about the domestic opening?
The domestic opening weekend, yeah.
260.
260. Okay, so I knew it was right around the $250 million range. Thanks, Ray. So it's got that going against it. There's a little bit of confusion in that we've got another movie coming out that's got a couple of Batman in it with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, and then there's some animated stuff coming as well. And so there's a little bit of confusion with it as well. And there's also, I hate to bring it up every time, but there's also that contingent of moviegoers out there who look at Batman and go, Twilight Boy. And that's it. To them, it's just Twilight Boy. They don't know any of the other movies that he's done. And I get that. So it's got a number of big obstacles in front of it. But I still think it's going to be big. And now actually Variety thinks it's going to be awfully big too. Variety wrote the following. Joaquin Phoenix's devilish turn in Joker demonstrates that DC can go dark, and we mean Scorsese-level darkness, and still become an insanely profitable box office sensation. Of course, the Joker made over $1 billion at the box office. Comic book adventures have essentially been pandemic-proof at the box office. I wouldn't say that. And Batman is one of the most ubiquitous masked heroes on the planet. Add Robert Pattinson as a moody, enigmatic Cape Crusader and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, and yeah, says Variety, this movie is going to be huge. That's what they're saying. Now, I did a little bit of reading also over at the good folks over at Box Office Pro, and they are not putting out their official numbers yet. That's coming in the next week. They're putting out their official projections in the next week. But I talked to some people over there, and they're saying it's going to be big. Like very, very big. Their tracking right now shows something very, very, very big. So, how big will it be? Taking into consideration on the pros, it's Batman. The trailers are awesome. Robert Pattinson has a big fan base. All that kind of stuff. Juxtaposed against the fact that Batman has a middling kind of reputation right now because of some divisive stuff. The fact that while Robert Pattinson has a lot of fans, he has some detractors as well, unfortunately. As well as we've got other Batman coming. There might be a little bit of confusion. Like, wait a minute, I thought Ben Affleck was Batman. Wait, what? Is this happened before or after Justice League? Like, so there's going to be some of that confusion with people, understandably. I'm ready to make my prediction right now, which I reserve the right to change as we get closer to Batman. My prediction right now, $150 million opening weekend. By far the biggest opening weekend, I think, other than Spider-Man, that we've had in the post-pandemic era. But right now, I'm seeing a big number of $150 million opening weekend for the Batman. And then, as far as what kind of legs it'll have, that's all going to depend on how good or bad the movie is. Rob, you've been watching all this stuff. You've been seeing everything coming. Time to make a guess. Where do you see the Batman opening, and why do you see it opening there? What are some of the interesting points there for this?
Well, I think 150 million is a good guess. Here's my variables. It's a 3-hour movie, so there's less show times in a day.
That's one I forgot to bring up. Very good point.
So that's kind of academic. It really depends on how many screens will it open on, and what will be the per screen average. And another thing, John, that's a real big variable for me is, I watched the funeral scene again this morning, like just because, and the way this movie does not look. It looks very adult in tone. It looks more along the lines of a Christopher Nolan kind of a movie, but even more serious. I think it really, and this is going to seem strange to say, but Batman is kind of a 4-quadrant movie. But if the subject matter is too adult in its tone, and it looks like it could skew that direction, it might affect how family audiences will flock to this movie. Whereas Spider-Man No Way Home was a family crowd pleaser of a movie. And I think the tone of this film could actually really affect its box office. Look, if it comes out and it's a kick-ass experience the way Joker was for a lot of people, and that certainly wasn't a family film and it made $1 billion, you could be looking at those kinds of numbers. But I think 150 million to start is not a bad guess. But I would say if it's not quite 150 million, it's less than that. I don't think it's going to be more than that, only because of those variables, the family audience, the running time.
All right, Chris. By the way, before we get to Chris, I'll let you guys know that I want to know what you guys think. So for those of you watching live, I just put in a poll in the live chat there for you guys to jump in on and weigh in on. And already over 350 of you guys have already responded. And I simply asked, will the Batman open over or under 150 million? Because that's kind of the line I'm setting. 62% of you guys right now are saying over. 38% of you guys are saying under. I'm going to leave that poll up for the next 5 or 10 minutes. So go in there. Tell me what you guys think. Will it be over or under 150 million? Chris, you've been seeing the whole development of this, the ad campaign, the things working for it, the things working against it. Where do you see this thing opening, and what do you think the key variable is going to be in making it come to that number?
I think it's going to be under. I really do. I think the marketing of this is a dark film, and I think that isn't going to be as enticing, like Rob was saying, for families to bring their kids to. I mean, if I'm babysitting your kid, we're going to go see that. We're going to go, I don't know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to have a fun time, kids. But I feel like that's part of it. And also, I mean, this is where my bias shows, because I do like Marvel properties more. Those are the comics that I grew up with. And so, you know, Spider-Man, I knew I was going to see multiple times over the weekend, right? And then Batman, that depends on how I feel about it. So I think the longevity of this, too, is that it's not going to hit anywhere close to Spider-Man's numbers later on down the run.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't need to hit Spider-Man numbers, because Spider-Man's that's a family film.
Yeah.
That's a lot of different things.
Of course.
And it's also coming, Spider-Man is coming from a position of strength. The MCU is going from victory to victory, highlight to highlight, and all that kind of stuff, and it's coming off of great previous films as well, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas Batman is coming off some films that, while I certainly really like them, have been a little divisive amongst people. Again, there's multiple Batman going on. They don't even know which universe is taking in place in. I love the fact that you brought up the 3-hour thing.
Yeah.
And that could become a little bit daunting, but I'm telling you what, I still think there's going to be a lot of people out there.
I'm going twice.
Ray's going twice.
Yeah.
I think there's still going to be a lot of people out there that are going to be very interested in this.
Oh, dude, no doubt. This it looks so good.
It looks so good. And by the way, we've got over 1,000 votes there in the live chat. And the final thing is 61% of you are saying it will be over $150 million. 39% of you are saying under. And again, we'll have to revisit this issue as we get a little bit closer to the movie coming out. But that's what we think of it for now. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? With all the buzz, the promotion going into high gear, some of the confusion, all the stuff, the pros and the cons. Right now, a month away from release, how do you see the Batman opening? Do you think it's generated enough interest in movie fans to go out in bigger numbers, or just good numbers? Like, however you guys are thinking about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, we're now going to move over and start taking your live comments and questions. And by the way, just going to let you know, if you're watching this show any other time of the day, the other 22 hours during the day, but you want to send in a question for us to answer, we have a new show starting today called Mailbag. And that's going to be for you guys to send in questions that don't watch live. And the way you send in those questions is to go to the tip link that's down in the description of this video, or just write it in manually in your browser at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your comment or question read on Mailbag if we deem your comment or question to be appropriate for our show, of course. And of course, you'll be supporting our channel at the same time. And all of us thank you guys very, very much for that. But for now, let's get on over and start taking the live questions you guys have been sending in. Chris, what do we got up here?
All right. Thank you, Jordan Saylor, for your donation. Scotty H. Hey, John, looks like the weekend of February 18th is booked with Uncharted and Season 4 of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, I forgot that was coming back.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
I love The Marvelous Ms. Maisel. You're not a big fan of it?
No.
Really?
What? I need to... Everyone's going to judge me because I need to watch it. I watched an interview with her and I got really turned off by her not doing any stand-up and not wanting to try stand-up and not doing stand-up that somebody else would write for her to experience the situation. I feel like that's something she should have done.
Now, to be fair,
you don't have to do everything your characters
Mark
play.
Ruffalo did not subject himself to gamma radiation to play Hulk.
Exactly. But when you can't do something. That just turned me off.
I will tell you what, though.
Stand-up's
It
scary.
didn't matter.
That's fair.
It's. I mean, look. It's a show that I had no interest in, and then Anne made me watch it, and I'm like, oh my god, this
It's
is
delightful.
Good.
You should watch it.
I'll
Yeah.
try it, but that
Because
just
I got a feeling you're gonna love it.
You would love it.
As a woman who does stand up, it made me go, "Oh, just do a tight 2. Come on."
Yeah. All right.
Fine.
What's
But that's a
next?
judgment.
That makes
All
sense.
right. All right, this is from Suthius. Yay! When Ms. Chris has regular armor, Chris car. When Ms. Chris has upgraded Mandalorian armor, best car.
Best car.
Thank you. I'll show you my way out. No, stay. You're great.
I like that one. That's
That
good.
one's very good.
That's good. All right,
I
what's next?
screenshotted that
Put
one.
up a
good
poll.
joke.
Put up a poll.
Put up a
They
poll.
like that joke.
Did we like the best car joke? Register
We
your
liked
vote
it.
now.
It was a good joke.
All right, what's next?
Out of Time 1985. You all should check out Vivo on Netflix. It's such a fun, musical, animated film starring Lin-Manuel Miranda. The songs are so good. Watch it.
I've had a few people mention that one recently. I don't know anything about it. I don't think he wrote and directed it, though.
No.
I don't
but-
believe
yeah,
so.
so-
But I think he wrote the
adorable.
music for it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
Yeah,
he does so
which-
good at that.
It's
All right,
so
thanks
cute.
for putting that on a radar. Out of time. What's next?
James Argenta. With Filoni co-writing and directing episode 6 of Boba, do you think there will be a big character reveal since his previous episodes included Grogu, Fennec, and Ahsoka?
Maybe, although I'll tell you what, with Filoni directing this episode, I'm very, very curious because, listen, I'll be straight with you. I thought his episodes of Mandalorian were the worst directed episodes of Mandalorian. But
Until Robert Rodriguez's episodes this
until
season.
Robert Rodriguez episodes came out. But
Which surprised
Filoni
me.
had never directed anything before
Right.
live action. He'd never directed anything. My favorite thing of David Filoni ever was when they showed him in the behind the scenes on set of Mandalorian and him saying, I don't know what the F I'm doing. Thank God I have John Favreau here. Right? And I was so impressed by that because that told me Dave Filoni is a guy who doesn't think he already knows it all. And nothing has given me more faith in the guy than when I saw him say that. Because he could have gone there, I'm the Star Wars guy. I did Clone Wars and I know all the history. He could have said that. But what did he say instead? I don't know what the F I'm doing. Because he's never been on a live set before. And while I don't think I think it shows that he was a first-time director. I think he showed improvement. And I'm now really curious to see where he is right now. I'm actually very curious to see his continued ascent in that. So, I mean, I don't know. Look, again, I think we're going to go back to Grogu. It's him. He's directing it. Grogu. So that I think just kind of speaks to the will be Grogu. So I don't know. We'll find out. All right, what's next?
Suthius, filmmakers need to start prioritizing their scripts. Top priority to be labeled, I go to the mall just to get hot dogs on a stick. If a movie gets that script, you'll know that's the good shit.
I'm telling you, I think screenwriters around the world should just hang out with Ray Orr for a couple of days, and they'll get like so much inspiration for so much stuff. It's just the way.
They're like, we've eaten so much food today for some reason.
Hang out with Ray. It's just a lot of eating. All right, what's next?
Cutter Hale, John had to suffer through Moonfall. I think Ray should enjoy Jackass forever this week. I'm at least going to see Jackass twice this weekend. Pumped.
I'm telling you what, I'm going to go on a limb. I know Ray's very, very nervous about Jackass because he gets squeamish at physical pain on screen, and I get that.
No, it's not only that, but the sweat one from the last one.
Oh, the swet one was. Do you
Oh
remember
my
the sweat
God,
one?
it makes me throw up in my mouth every time I
Yeah.
think about it. Where that guy sweated and they put it in a cup.
Yep.
Dude,
Oh,
listen,
so gross.
yeah, but you know what? Don't feel bad about that because I get super squeamish just even thinking about that. Like I really, really do. But I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to bet Ray really has a good time. I'm
I
gonna bet Ray
probably
likes
will
it.
too.
Probably will.
I do like the one and the last thing they did in the trailer with the bear. That
Oh
one looked
my
hilarious
God.
to me.
Why are you
because that
pouring
guy was
honey on me?
terrified. He's like, oh, the bear.
He looks so
Oh,
scared.
that looks so funny. And then the ones where
They got Francis Ngannou in there.
where public is involved because it
Yeah,
reminds
they're
me
doing
of
a
like
sketch.
yeah, we're like like
The
people
tarantula's
strangers.
in the face. That's,
But when
you know.
when it comes to like, hey, let me shoot this BB gun at your balls, that's not for me.
I
That's
can't
not
wait
for
to
me, bro.
I cannot wait to see it.
not my first choice either.
No. All right, what's next?
Ben Rayner, I know you're not into it, but Superman and Lois, for me, is the best Superman show. And just letting the community know it's a must check out. I don't know what I like more, Peacemaker or Superman and Lois.
Well, you know, I thought Superman started really strong. I have nothing bad to say about Superman and Lois. I enjoyed this. I had to check out of it just because of my own personal sensibilities, no big deal. But it was quite good for what I watched it. I thought they were doing something really neat and really different. I still think Peacemaker is by far superior. I'm just having so much more fun with that. But no, Superman, definitely check it out. If you haven't checked out Superman Lois, I think you should take Ben's advice here and check it out. All right, what's next?
Dante, I'm so sorry. I'm going to say your last name wrong. Surachia, let me know how much I butchered that. Hey, John and crew. After everyone trying to figure out who could be under Master Chief's helmet's last show, I think it's got to be The Rock, right? LOL.
I mean, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's talking about doing... I don't know, but we already know who the actor is. It's Pablo Schreiber? Mm-hmm. Schreiber? Yeah, we already know who the actor is underneath that. Again, the big question now becomes, are they going to show his face? Are they going to show his face?
And when does it release? Is it going to be a weekly thing?
It's March.
Is it the whole season? Do we know that?
Paramount, I think Paramount does one episode a week.
Well, it looks like they're adding another day of the week.
Another game day for Ray.
Another game day here.
Let me ask you this, Ray. So Star Trek Picard season 2 comes out and Halo comes out.
On the same day?
Not the same day, but what would you be more excited to watch?
That's not even a question for Ray.
What? Is that a real question?
It's a real question.
Halo.
All right, just want to find out.
Oh, are you going
He's
to
an
slash my
Xbox guy.
tires?
Of course it's going to be.
That was a rude question.
Am I going to watch, it's like asking me, will I watch Picard Halo or Picard season 2 or there's a new Luke Skywalker series out?
Well, yeah, but
it's
going to be very interesting because you've got two competing, very successful science fiction franchises on the same network. And it'll be really interesting to see. It's going to be a bellwether for where Paramount takes Star Trek in the future.
Well, more than that, what I think could be also interesting, I think Disney's going to be paying very close attention to that because Disney right now only runs one show at a time, period. And it's going to be, if they can see Paramount have some limited success with it, maybe they'll finally start expanding their thing a little bit. I don't know. Maybe yes. Maybe I'm just being too hopeful. All right, what's next?
Sebastian Gonzalez. I think a big factor in NWH's success was its December release. It's the first MCU December release. Avatar, TFA, Titanic released in December and made $2 billion.
Yeah, but I can point to a lot of movies that opened in a lot of other months that didn't open in December. Like Endgame did not open in December. Infinity War did not open in December. Jurassic World did not open in December. So yeah, I mean, definitely, look, December, more people, it's a fact. This isn't an opinion. It is a fact. More people go to the movies in December. That is the number one, the Christmas week is the number one movie going week of the year. So there's obviously that, but there's also more competition. And it doesn't mean success is excluded outside of that. What do you think?
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think that December, sure, is it a factor because people are out of school, but people are out of school in the summer too. I think the reason that Endgame or No Way Home make the money they make is because they're great movies that people are dying to see. And we've talked about this. No Way Home provided a different kind of entertainment. It was both nostalgia and heartwarming and exciting and action-packed and emotional. I mean, it took you on a journey and it delivered the goods.
Yeah, it did. All right, what's next?
Another one from Dante. Hi again. So it's game day.
Game day.
I mean, Boba Fett. Oh. Shots fired. And that's a really good burn. Okay.
Boba Fett.
Hold on. Just 1 second. I had a couple of people asking me about the golden retriever question, so maybe we could just...
Let's revisit it. So for those you've missed, yesterday somebody asked, hey, Chris, but Chris wasn't here today. Yesterday she was moving. Said, who's the bigger golden retriever, Chris Hemsworth or
Jason Momoa?
I don't even know what, we had no idea what
What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
Big golden retriever energy, big doofy energy, right? People who barrel around and like will wrestle you and stuff. It's still Momoa. Chris Hemsworth has golden retriever energy. Really great app, Center. Y'all should try it. But Jason Momoa takes it.
All right. Okay. So now back on to the game day question.
All right.
There you go.
Hopefully tonight's can deliver the goods and not be as McClunky as the first three.
Well, I'll tell you what, like everybody again, this is frustrating to me. Everybody pretends like Mandalorian's a real person and he shows up and things are, you do realize it's still the same writers. It's still the same show. And the fact is, the Book of Boba Fett show people made a great episode last week. It's the first one that I can say was great. I liked episode 2 and I liked episode 4, but overall I've been a little bit disappointed by the book. But that last episode was great. And it's not like Mandalorian came in. Mandalorian, you know, is a work of fiction. He's ink on a page. It's still the same people. I am going in with full faith tonight that tonight's episode of Book of Boba Fett will be every bit as strong as last week's episode. Regardless of what characters are in or whatever. Full faith, Ray.
Oh my God.
Full faith. You're going to be over here at
Why
midnight?
is like a 1% of me like inside saying, I hope it's so bad because I want to see how John reacts? I just a little,
That's why.
Just a little.
Man, I don't like to see this familial descent happen.
No, I'm just
Come
kidding.
on now.
No, but you know, if Mandalorian needs to go anywhere, he's getting there fast. I want to see
Oh, yeah, I
more of
wanna see
that.
that ship.
I want to see more of that ship.
Dude,
I'll tell you what, when they showed that ship, I'm like, F the freaking Naboo fighter. He needs a freighter to carry things around. And then they showed that thing zipping around. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, he could
you
be
won
the-
me over.
He could be the quickest hitman ever.
That's for a divorced dad. No, not a single dad. He's not cruising. He needs room for his baby.
The divorce, the single dad. The single
you got
dad
a
doesn't want a
bathroom.
minivan. The divorced
Yeah.
dad needs the race car.
Exactly.
I like that. All right, what's next?
This is from Andy. Tom Ellis should play Raja Ghul in the future just so I can continue to hear him say detective.
Detective. Oh my God, that's a
I mean,
good call,
that's good
Andy.
casting.
That is a good call,
like
my
that.
friend. All right, what's next?
Another one from Andy. Why doesn't WWE do more segments on the legendary Bruno Sammartino? Sammartino. If I could talk, that'd be great. Because WWE doesn't talk about Bruno.
Of course, Bruno Sammartino, iconic, legendary WWE heavyweight champion, and he was awesome. But anyway, yes, they
What
don't talk
happened to him?
about Bruno.
What happened to him? Oh, okay, never mind.
No. Get it because it's the Encanto
okay,
song.
okay.
They don't talk about Bruno. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn. What was the last film y'all saw before COVID? For me, it was Doolittle. My God, what a dreadful film.
Oh,
Remember that dragon fart scene? So bad.
okay. So I go back and forth. I cannot remember. I know one of the last ones we saw was The Gentleman.
gentlemen,
That was one of the last
Invisible
ones we saw.
Man.
Invisible Man, or it actually may have been. It might have
Mr.
been
Cotter.
the animated one. Not Journey, not Beyond, not
Onward?
Onward. Thank you. Not Forward. Onward. It might have been Onward, but I actually think it was. I think it may have been a press screening for what was that battle royale film
With
where
Chris Hemsworth?
people went hunting each other.
The Hunt.
The Hunt.
Oh, okay.
I was, because I remember me and Gray Drake were sitting beside each other, and we were, before the movie started, we were all talking about, hey, this pandemic's breaking out, like blah 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 blah. And I think that might have been the last one I saw.
Little
in
did we know back then.
Yeah, in a regular theater it was Onward, but I actually think the last movie I saw in a movie theater was at a press screening. I think it was The Hunt. Do you remember what was the last one you saw in theater?
It was
before?
Invisible Man.
It was Invisible Man.
Mine was Impractical Jokers, the movie.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
By the way, I shouldn't get us sidetracked. We have a million questions to get through, but you heard that the one in
Yeah.
Joker's leaving, right?
Yeah.
Does it still feel the same with him?
I haven't seen any new episodes with just them three, but you know what? He was my favorite, but it goes on. We'll see what happens.
Chris, do you remember which was the last film you saw?
Endgame.
That was the last one you saw in
Yeah.
theaters. Because that was close. All right, what's next?
Kevin Joyce would be intrigued in a series of Moon Knight post-game breakdowns with this group and hosted by RMB. Appreciate his acumen and lore expertise.
Unfortunately, you're never going to see. I don't think. Let me rephrase it. I don't think you're going to see post game shows with more than one person, because there's no time. There's no time. Like, we've got a finite amount of time, and a ton of questions get sent in, and we got to get through them all. And as soon as we have more than one person, it doubles the amount of time that it goes. A post game show on Moon Knight with Rob might be the way to go. But
Be fun to do.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do. So for Moon Knight, I mean, that might be a good call. All right, what's next?
Jerome, finish watching Dexter New Blood or Yellow Jackets?
I kind of ditched on Dexter. I got 3 episodes in and then I ditched. It wasn't going bad. But then I heard how it ended. And that's fine. I can hear how a show ends and I can still appreciate the show. But then when I heard how the show ended, I'm like, really?
Yeah, me too.
And then I'm watching, I'm like, and I kind of ditched. I'm still getting through Yellow Jackets because that's one shows that I have to watch with Anne. I get through much slower, obviously, because Anne works full time. She's got a very busy schedule. And so it takes me a lot longer to get through those shows because we got to find time that we can sit down together and watch it. So I am not through Yellow Jackets yet, but I'm loving it. Any of you guys watching Yellow Jackets?
No, I need to.
Yeah, that's another one
Double
I want
thumbs
to catch up with.
Yeah, it's really, really good. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Dorado, with the Super Bowl coming up, what are your predictions on what movie trailers we'll see? My top 3 are Jurassic Park, Top Gun 3, and Doctor Strange.
There's a Top Gun 3?
Top Gun 2. Yeah, I think she probably meant Top Gun 2. I think I just got to agree with Elizabeth. I think those all sound, because you got to remember, this is the most expensive television time in the world. Super Bowl ads are in the multiple millions of dollars per 30 seconds.
And this Super Bowl, I think, is going to be even more expensive.
Oh, this Super Bowl is going to be bonkers. So it's got to be a big major movie with a big major budget. Jurassic World, Top Gun, Doctor Strange, all covered. You know what? I like your picks, Elizabeth.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah. Those are great picks.
Can you guys say anything else?
Black Adam.
When does Black Adam come out? I can't remember the release date for Black Adam.
I'm not sure.
I think we might see one that's deeper into the year. I'll give you one. I'll give you a prediction. Avatar 2.
That's what I want.
Our first look at Avatar 2.
Now, I'll tell you why I don't believe so. I'm not saying
why you gotta harsh my mellow?
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
Well, right out of the gate, you crushed my spirit.
Black Adam releases on July 29th.
Still a little ways out.
Although a Dwayne Johnson thing might be.
That might be enough to do it. I think Disney is becoming one of those companies that is at the forefront of realizing we're wasting marketing money by advertising too far in advance. And that's an expensive ad spot.
It's true. It is.
But you know what? If they do, the world will know that Robert Meyer Burnett called it. So we'll see. But I like, do you guys think any of the other ones? Black Adam is close enough that Black Adam could be one. Because that's only 4 months out.
Look, Avatar 2 is a Hail Mary end of the year kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's not coming out to December, right?
December. But I'm thinking, like, they got a lot riding on this, like 3 more movies. So
they'll probably show something for Gasoline Alley.
they could.
That would make so much sense.
I'm lost. What?
Oh, that was
the Bruce Willis.
My God.
Because boy, Bruce Willis, another laconic performance by him. But
what am I missing?
But I think though that so for Marvel we got Doctor Strange is coming out.
Someone is
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Lightyear.
Yeah, I think maybe Thor.
When's Lightyear come out though?
Okay.
July.
Does it come out that early?
I think so.
Lightyear might not be about. But then again, is Lightyear a very base family film? Is the football audience the one you're targeting that at? Maybe yes, maybe no.
Right. And you know that Lightyear, they're going to be, it's going to go to Disney Plus. Man, why are we going to show in a theater? And then we can all get really angry.
All right. But I like Elizabeth's picks there. All right, what's next?
Zelda Master 702, Vikings getting Harbor from Michigan.
Harbaugh.
I know sports so well, you guys.
Wait a second. Is that true?
What?
Are you asking
Harbaugh
me?
going to the Vikings, or is that you just hoping?
I don't know.
SB 57, here we come.
Guys in the live chat, do you actually know if that's true? Is Harbaugh actually leaving Michigan and going to? I know there's been some talk about maybe him going back to the NFL, but is that official?
Viking.
Oh, it's rumor. Everybody's saying right now it's just rumor. Okay, what's next?
Philip Matzik, thank you for your donation here.
Oh, thank you, Philip.
That's sweet. K Major, hey Chris, hi. What were some of your highlights from the Royal Rumble? Not a fan of Brock winning. Me neither, but that was a real boring match anyway. The men just didn't deliver. They didn't deliver, and they were so boring to watch. Like Bobby Lashley, I wasn't very interested in. The men's Rumble, I wasn't really interested in. The women's Rumble was wonderful. Sasha Banks coming out in Sailor Moon clothes. Yes. Yep. I really,
Reeves.
yeah.
No Alexa Bliss, though, my favorite.
I mean,
Sasha Banks might be my favorite. I'll tell you what, I did like the women's Royal Rumble.
It was great.
I thought it was really
fun.
good. I mean, what's the name of the big, because Anne's best friend, Kaori, she's dating Nigel. She's been dating Nigel for a long time. And Nigel is an NXT commentator on the show. He's former, what was the wrestler? He was heavyweight champion of Ring of Honor. Nigel was heavyweight champion of Ring of Honor.
Then he was in TNA for a little bit.
Then he was in TNA.
Or Impact, whatever one it was at the time.
But because Nigel color commentates on NXT, we would watch NXT all the time.
Oh, nice.
And that's when I got exposed to the big Aussie girl, the big Australian girl with the short blonde hair.
Rhea Ripley.
Is that her name?
Oh, is she Australian?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I thought that was a heavy Australian accent.
Stefania Ferrario?
No, but oh my God.
Ripley's
Like,
amazing
I watched
if it's
that
her.
girl wrestle and I'm like, this girl has got all the tools. She's big, physically, you look at her, you can tell this girl's strong. She will crush you like a beer can. But she's also got a great look.
Yeah, she does.
And she's got really decent mic skills. And I'm like, when she's on, it's like, I didn't even know she crossed over into the WWE from NXT. So I'm like, we pop on the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm like, she's in it. Like, I got really excited by it.
I was just sad that I knew like Bianca Belair wasn't going to win since she has already. She did last year.
Yeah.
But I love her so much. Logan, that's his favorite. He has an action figure of her. Because last year she like ripped open Sasha Banks's tummy with her hair. Like, it was amazing to watch.
What were
Oh,
we talking about? Who ripped over?
Bianca Belair, she hair whipped Sasha
Oh,
Banks.
Yeah, the one with the
right.
7 foot
Cut her
long
stomach
hair.
open.
Bianca Belair.
All right,
Really good.
Let's keep
Great.
going on here. We
I was gonna say, I could talk about
we
this
got
all
to
the
start
time.
going faster because we got a lot of
You
questions to get through.
got
Okay,
it.
what's up?
Anish, anyone see the
Oh, and
Q&A?
Anish sends in like a $20 super chat. Thank you, Anish.
Anyone see the OA? It was canceled by Netflix after 2 seasons, but I thought the second season was incredible and had some of the most audacious sci-fi storytelling I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Cast had Jason Isaacs, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Razamid.
I'm gonna be honest. I watched one episode, didn't click. Didn't click for me, but I've heard other people say they quite liked it.
I think the OA, it's part of the same genre that Morehouse and Benson, those guys are doing. They did Spring and they did The Endless and Archive 81. It's part of a new genre, a subgenre of sci-fi horror. I don't know what it's called. Somebody needs to come up with a name, but I liked it a lot. I was sad to see it go.
All right, what's next?
This is Hardick Dave, part 1 of 2. John, first of all, watch 3 Idiots as soon as possible. You'll be impressed how well it's made. And in previous chat, I heard that Rob say he developed Hardick.
Never mind.
Okay.
Let's just move on to the next question. We'll get back to it when we get to it.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Elizabeth Dorado again. Also, it's game day.
It's game day.
Mark Harlan, that new Batman movie poster looks awesome.
It does.
Put "It's a movie" quote on the bottom of the poster to make it more
One of the
awesome.
greatest moments in our for those of you who didn't see it, coming out of Moonfall, we did our right out of the theater quick reaction, and it ends with Chris Carr saying, "It's a movie."
So good.
when you don't have anything nice to say.
And by the way, unfortunately, that new Batman poster isn't actually a Batman poster. It's just a cover, and I think
Yeah.
it was Total Film.
Yeah,
But my goodness, it's good.
it is
That's a
good.
great poster. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack, you know, I was just looking at the movies in April, and that month is packed. You have Morbius, assuming that it doesn't move again, Ambulance, Sonic 2, yes, Fantastic Beasts 3, The Bad Guys, and The Northman.
I'll tell you what, I was just talking a little bit earlier about how Cyrano is in my top 3, maybe top 2. Obviously, it's the Batman. And then the next 2 spots in whatever order are Cyrano and the Northman. Another one that we got our first glimpse at CinemaCon a few months ago. Looks so good. Oh my God, it looks so good. I cannot wait to see this. But you're right. I'm hit or miss on Ambulance. I don't know if I think Ambulance is good.
I don't know, dude. Come on.
I saw the preview for it at CinemaCon. I'm like, eh. But I know it might be great.
It's
Sonic
speed,
2,
but not on a bus.
Sonic 2, I'm definitely excited about. I am excited about the new Fantastic Beasts. I don't care what anybody says. I think it looks good. So we'll see.
Ambulance and Fantastic Beasts also might have Super Bowl spots.
Ooh.
I could see those.
You know what? Ambulance isn't the big, huge blockbuster that you really needed to be to get it, but that is a movie that you advertise to football fans.
Yep.
So that might be a great call.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Yasmer Hidalgo, saw the 355 yesterday. The camera in your studio during the earthquake was less shaky than in this movie. Jesus Christ.
I gotta repost that earthquake one. Guys,
I missed that show. I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there. It was just me. It was a No Pants Thursday. It was
Yeah.
me, Aaron, and Chris. But for those of you guys who have a link to that video, because I put it up once, put the link to that video in the comment section because that is a great moment. All right, what's next?
Patrick C. Chris, thanks for the recommendation of the anime Bell. You're welcome. I laughed, I cried. It was absolutely beautiful. Seen it twice in theaters now. Love you guys.
I cannot find it playing around to me.
Really?
Yeah, Ann and I even the other day thought about, let's go see that, and then it had one showtime at a theater close to here. It was like a 3 p.m. showtime or something like that.
Yeah.
So I am still waiting to see that, but you
I love it.
gloat about it.
That's
yeah.
one of the soundtracks I listened to on my way here to pump myself up. It's really, really great. My theater was only showing 4 times and only 1 dub. So,
all right, what's next?
all right, Corey Harper. A couple of the guys and I sat down over the weekend with some beer and wings while watching the masterpiece that is Cool and Ice for the first time.
Bum, 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 bum. Yep, she likes me. One of the greatest lines in cinematic history. And Gondor shall answer, make him an offer he can't refuse, and yip yip, she likes me. 3 greatest lines in cinematic. If you have not seen Vanilla Ice is Cool as Ice, what are you doing with your life?
And
Reassess your life choices.
Watch it on a double bill with Tough Turf.
With Tough Turf.
With James Spader and Robert Downey Jr. and Kim Richards from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
All right, what's next?
Ryan Gerger. Hi, John and crew. You think C going to win the Super Bowl?
Okay.
Do you think you know who's going to win the Super Bowl? And who do you want to win the game? Everybody answer the question. Thanks.
All right, well, look, I'm not going to lie. I have a hierarchy of who I cheer for in the NFL. So obviously it was Brady and the Patriots and all that kind of stuff. But then, once you go down from there, it's the Bills. Like if they're not there, then I'm cheering for the Bills. If they're not there, I'm cheering for the Rams. I'm an LA guy now, so I'll cheer for the Rams, and so on and so on. Then after the Rams, I probably cheer for the Bengals because, Ann grew up loving the Bengals. Bengals are Rays team, so I'll cheer for them too. But for me, the Rams outrank the Bengals. So, look, the Campea household wins, no matter who wins the Super Bowl.
Aww.
It's either going to be the Rams or it's going to be the Bengals.
Both of them haven't won. Both of them haven't won yet. And you know what? I'm a Bengals fan, but LA winning the Super Bowl in LA
would be pretty sweet.
was just, it's just like, that's beautiful. I mean,
stay off the streets.
But, go Bengals, baby.
On paper,
Not going anywhere that day.
On paper, I will tell you, the Rams are going to slaughter the Bengals. But we all said the same thing about them playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And they were losing 21-0. It's like, well, there it is. And they found a way. They played the number 1 ranked Tennessee Titans. Nobody gave them a chance. They went in, they took care of business. Then they played the most electrifying offense in the NFL in Kansas City. Nobody gave them a chance. And now here we are. And again, no one's going to give them a chance against the Rams. I'm just saying, keep your eyes open. All right, we need to move on.
The Bengals could Jurassic Park this, John. The Bengals will find a
only
way.
one game. Only one game. Joe Burrow, baby.
Joe Burr. All right, what's next?
Conan for Oscars 2020 says, Andy Richter for President 2024.
Okay. All right, what's next?
Naomi LaBelle says, I rewatched Snyder Cut last weekend on Edibles, and it's still as great as the first time. Not my all-time favorite CB movie, but it's up there for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't absolutely love it, but I thought it wasn't like I like the theatrical release of Justice League. I do. I think the Snyder Cut was an
if I had a
improvement.
tomato, I'd throw it at you right now.
But I don't care what you think. I went to the theater to watch it 6 or 7 times, and I thought all the stuff that Snyder had in it was good, and I thought the Snyder Cut was an improvement. I thought it was a step up. I still don't. It shouldn't have been 4 hours. It should not have been 4 hours. It's like, oh my god, and we didn't need the one of many scenes they should have cut out. And again, I think it's better than the theatrical version. I do, but like the frickin' scene of Aquaman going to the water, and then those frickin' villagers there with the sweater. It's like, what the fuck is this scene?
Dude, I'll
was
tell you what
not
it was.
good. It was terrible,
awesome.
It was a terrible scene. But I think if Zach had cut it down, like cut like 30 minutes out of it, I think it would have been like, I just think it would have taken it to the next level. Because he had a lot of really good stuff in there.
Yeah.
And the key thing, here's the big difference to me between the theatrical version and the Snyder Cut version is Cyborg.
Yeah.
They gave a lot of depth to the Cyborg character. And listen, I get it. If Warner Brothers goes to another director that they drag in and say, you can't make it longer than this, well, then the director's going to have to cut a lot of shit out. I mean, that's just so I get that. That's fine. But I think the thing that really gave it new depth was all the extra Cyborg stuff, especially the part about, seeing the woman who can't pay her bills and he's able to look through all that. Like, to me, that gave more emotional depth to that movie that the theatrical version was missing. And to me, that was the X factor to me in that movie. But that's just my take on it. All right, what's next?
Sebastian Gonzalez again. Tracksuits Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno.
Okay, all right. I'll give you that.
Good.
I'll give you that one.
Right.
I'll give you that one.
That was
All
not
right,
bad.
what's next?
Victor Edbaum. Hi, everyone. Arnold is my favorite actor of all time. What's your favorite Arnold one-liner? Consider that a divorce. That was a horrible Arnold, sorry. From Total Recall for me.
For me, it's Sully. Remember when I said I'd kill you last? That's right, you did. I lied. That, or, and if you will not help me now, to hell with you, as he's praying to Crom.
Yeah, well, I was going to say for the same movie, crush your enemies,
Yeah.
see them driven before you, and hear the
Conan, what is
lamentations
best
of the
in life?
women.
Mine
Crush
is,
your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
Mine is we're twins, Vincent. Vincent, we're twins.
All right, what's next?
Casey Mack. Any news yet on what SBTV sports spots we could be getting on Super Bowl? I'm expecting maybe another trailer for Moon Knight, a spot
Nah.
maybe for Doctor Strange 2, and maybe even Jurassic World Domain.
Yeah, I like Jurassic World, what Elizabeth said earlier.
Dominion,
Jurassic
excuse
World, Doctor Strange 2, and what was the third
Top
one?
Gun Maverick.
And Top Gun. I think those are really, really good picks, Casey. All right, what's next?
Ben Rayner patches O'Houlihan's 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. One of the greatest comedies of all time. I love that thing. All right, what's next?
Boo Brady 21, part 1 of 2. Hi, Campea crew, including Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm curious to get all your opinions on this debate I've had over the years. Best third movie in a franchise. I'm biased because it's my fave of all time, but my vote is easily Indiana Jones Last Crusade. Bond, Indiana, Solo. Only other movies that come close to me is Die Hard with a Vengeance. Thanks.
Listen, first of all, that is my favorite Indiana Jones movie, is the third. I love that one. It's my favorite one of the bunch. Die Hard 3 is my favorite Die Hard movie as well. It's Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is the greatest third movie in anything of history. So for me, it's Return of the Jedi. Rob, I know you're not going to say Star Trek 3.
Nope.
But what would you say is your favorite third?
Return of the King.
Oh, that's a great, yeah, of course.
on,
that's a
dude.
great one too. Yeah.
Come on,
I still go
guys.
Return of the Jedi, but it's the returns. It's the returns. It's
returns.
either Return of the King or Return of the Jedi.
It's Return of the King for me.
What about you, Ray? You got a favorite one? I bet I know what you're going to say. Actually, I'm probably wrong.
Third of what? What's the question? Sorry.
What's your favorite third movie in a franchise?
Rocky 3?
I knew you were going to say Rocky 3. I knew that was going to be Rocky 3.
Rocky 3 is pretty great,
Rocky
though.
3 is awesome.
It's pretty great.
Pain. I don't hate the man.
Come on, woman.
That's right. Come on,
That
woman.
wouldn't fly today.
Hey, woman.
That wouldn't fly today. Talking
Hey,
like
woman.
that.
I don't know. I mean, I think in today's world, it might even be a little better because it's so transgressive.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban also.
Oh, yes.
John Redcorn. With Stafford as Rams QB and Eminem performing during halftime, this is the closest the Lions have ever been to a Super Bowl.
That's true, and probably the closest they. By the way, just got to throw this out there. Like U2's halftime show, amazing. Prince's halftime show, amazing. Tom Petty's halftime show, amazing. I got to tell you, man, it's been a while since I've been this excited. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige. This is going to be a hell of a halftime show.
It's going to be epic.
This is going to be really, really good. All right, what's next?
And it ain't going to rain.
Lucky BX. Hi, John and crew. What's the next Marvel team-up movie that you would love to see? For me, it's Spidey and the Hulk.
I don't care. I really don't. I don't care which ones they put together just because it doesn't matter. You can put the two best characters together. If you don't write a great story, it won't mean anything. So I just love seeing great movies, and they've been doing a really good job putting. So I honestly don't have a preference. Do you have one?
No, I mean, I would like to see Daredevil and Spider-Man.
That could be fun. Yeah, a lot of people want to see that. Do you guys have one you want to see?
Punisher and Moon Knight.
Punisher and Moon
You good?
Knight. There's that great fake comic thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
want
that
them to
one's
make
so
that
good.
real.
You got one, Ray? Crossover you want to see?
Blade and something.
A lot of people are saying they want to see Blade and who was I going to say?
Morbius?
Morbius. Yeah, a lot of people were talking Blade and Morbius.
Oh, well, that would be, yeah.
That could be fun too.
That
Not
would
really
be
a
dope.
Marvel MCU proper thing, but I don't know. All right, what's next?
Absolute Zero. Finished watching All of Us Are Dead, and it was awesome. Koreans should just make every zombie content forever. And you should watch all of it, especially you, Rob.
Oh, rest assured, I will watch all of it. It's pretty great.
Between that, Train to Busan, and there was another Korean zombie thing on Netflix.
Kingdom.
Well, yeah, there's Kingdom, which I've talked about a lot. I love that. But there was one where like they're all in their apartments, and I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
was
yeah.
watching it for a bit. You know what I'm talking about? So
Yep.
the zombie thing is taking over. They're like pretty big. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Kingdom, by the way,
Alive.
is that? Yes, I think that is
That
it.
is Alive.
Good one.
So they're kind of
Maurice.
crushing. Thank you, Maurice, in the live chat. All right, what's next?
This is part 2 of Hardick Dave's his love for
Oh, okay.
cricket. Yeah. His love for cricket when he was in New Zealand. I want to recommend him to watch upcoming IPL season to bring back his love for the game in all the glory. Bring on the filthy.
Now, is that back from the Three Idiots comment?
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so. Again,
Yeah.
guys, let me emphasize this. If you guys are sending in a multi-part question, type it out first in like a notepad or something so you can put it in quickly. Because if we got to go hunting around, that just takes too much time. We might miss where you're going. But anyway, yes, thanks for sending that in, Hardrick. All right, what's next?
Preston Walton. To the GOAT. Tampa thanks you for everything.
Yeah, it's official. Made official today. The greatest quarterback of all time. Like, it's not even close. By miles, every stat you want to look at, by miles and miles. Tom Brady, sigh.
Where's that Tom Brady figure I bought you?
I got
Where's
it.
it at?
It's right here.
Right here, baby. Look at the mini Brady.
Yeah.
Woo.
Ray got me my Tom Brady.
Anytime I see anything Tom Brady and it's toy related, I just pick it up and I just give it to John.
The thing is, what do you think Rob Gronkowski thinks about that?
Oh, in 2 weeks he's retiring. No, I'm telling you, in 2 weeks Rob Gronkowski's going to retire. He doesn't want to.
Well, he's apparently I don't know if it's Frito-Lay or somebody's throwing like a party at his house. You can win a party at his house for the Super Bowl game day.
More than anything would want to party with Rob Gronkowski.
Wouldn't that be the greatest
It
thing
would be
ever?
the greatest
I can't
thing
keep up
ever.
with that dude. I already know.
Dude, if you want
I'll
to
be
watch something
done.
great, go watch the Simpsons episode where Ron Gronkowski moves into the neighborhood.
Oh, no.
It's one of the best Simpsons episodes. Anyway, okay, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, wait, was that the Simpsons or was it Family Guy? Who moved in across? Was it Simpsons or Family Guy? I might be crossing the streams on that one.
I don't.
You know what? I think it was Family Guy. Yeah. Guys in the live chat are saying, I think you're thinking, yes, it was Family Guy that Gronkowski moved across the neighborhood.
Oh, man.
Ah, so
That guy's a college guy for life.
Oh, yes, he is. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack. Just a few days ago, Squid Game also said they were going to do a Squid Game universe. We don't need every movie, TV franchise to become a universe.
I will at least say this for them. They waited until the first show came out and it was a hit.
Yes.
Then, you know what? If you want to say, hey, we've got something on our hands, it's tangible. This works. We have a proof of concept. If you want to do that then and go forth from there, I'm fine with it. Just get the first thing under your belt. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw, hashtag Batman Ticket Watch.
I'm telling you what, Ray and I said before that maybe not, but the more I'm feeling the hype, there just might be a Batman Ticket Watch. There's definitely going to be a Batman reaction watch.
Oh, yeah. Reaction watch. I'm so
We all have to go.
Oh, yeah, we're all going to be there. But I mean, for when the first reaction, the social media reaction embargo lifts, we're going to be live. We're going to be streaming live when that happens, and we're going to keep our eyes
so
open
interested
for
to see what people think. I hope the first thing is not ZZZ.
that. Yeah. Still sleeping. Still sleeping. All right, what's next?
Nathan Kruger. Hey, John and crew. Hope all is well with everyone. What are the chances that in the finale of Book of Boba Fett, we get a massive cameo from Han Solo and not Harrison Ford? Keep Enric and save on CG.
Not impossible.
Well, it's
Listen,
post Jedi though.
Yeah, it's post Jedi, but it's still like younger Alden Ehrenreich.
True.
So I just don't know that you can get Harrison Ford because Harrison Ford wanted to get away from Star Wars. But then again, he agreed to do that cameo spot in The Rise of Skywalker.
And he's working on Indiana Jones.
He's working on Indiana
They're
Jones right
de-aging
now.
him.
So
They probably have the de-aged Harrison Ford ready to go.
Yep, they're probably going to have DH Luke beside DH Harrison Ford, both of them trying not to move very much.
I mean, all I have to do is shoot him in front of a green screen, get him in, say a few, hey, kid.
Yep.
Whatever.
Hey, kid. That's not how Solo sounded yet. Hey, kid. Like, I don't know. All right, what's next?
James Wheeler. I'm going to see Belle for the 4th time tonight. I love this movie and I love the soundtrack.
I love how many people are writing in to recommend this and that Chris loved it so much. Thank you for that, James. I hope you have a great time, man. What's next?
Donald Mex sent in a $5 super chat, so thank you, Donald.
Thank you, Donald.
BGIL Studios. I completely agree with you guys. When I started my superhero series, I overplanned my world and it didn't work. I focused on one and now it's successful.
I mean, that's the thing. Get one down, see that it works, see that the audience respond to it, then move ahead. Because otherwise you're going to end up like Universal with your pants down around your ankles going, oops, and they just embarrass themselves. So, yeah.
What?
No.
All right. Next up.
There a photo of that?
You need to make that. All right, Victor Edbaum. $21.23. Thank you, Victor.
Oh, thank you, Victor.
More on Arnold. Will there ever be anyone like him? People talk about The Rock, but Arnold has so many classic movies. And his blend of physique, charisma, delivery of his lines just make him the perfect action star for me.
I mean, look, let's be honest.
I knew.
Let's be honest.
Let's be.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is not exactly a thespian.
He's not Olivier.
Okay, yes, he's not exactly in the race for an Oscar every year, right? But prior to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, there had never been anybody who could carry an ocean of charisma, just pure natural charisma on screen like Arnold did. And listen, his imposing physical presence combined with that over-the-top charisma and charm is what carried him to a movie career that has been unlike it. And look, like a lot of these guys, he got better as he went. He was in an awful lot of movies. And then he even did his first movie he did after he finished being governor of California. I think Johnny Knoxville was in it. It's that one where he's got to fight the guy in the fast car.
Collateral damage. Was that it?
No, is it in the town when they're like he's in the
He's the sheriff of the town, maybe.
Directed by the Korean director.
And Genesis Rodriguez is in it too. I love Genesis Rodriguez. Anyway, and in that I'm like, nobody watched it. Flopped terribly. Flopped hard.
The Last Stand.
The Last Stand. That's the name of it.
Thank you, Red.
And who was it directed by?
It was an Asian director who I don't think had done a Hollywood film.
I want to say it was Kidam. It's not Kidam, it's Japanese.
But the point is, like, it flopped terribly, but I thought he was actually pretty good in it. But today, I think you see a number of people following the model that Arnold Schwarzenegger created. The Rock was able to follow in. The Rock is his own unique man, yes, but he followed in that model. Limited acting skill, at least at first, carried over by imposing physical physique and a mountain of charm. John Cena is following that path right now.
Ji-Woon Kim.
Yeah, right. I would never have got that. But you know what I think is different, though, about Schwarzenegger as opposed to The Rock? Schwarzenegger was in movies like Conan the Barbarian where a world was created that you bought into. And he was a part of that world, the way he moved, the way his physicality. So there was I never believed that the movies that I've watched Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in are real. Whereas I believed Terminator, within the context of that, created its own universe where Schwarzenegger, I wasn't like watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson take me through the paces. Schwarzenegger became those roles, and when you saw him in Terminator playing that robot, because the rest of the movie was deadly serious. And you bought into it. And you were Michael Biehn and Sarah and Linda Hamilton. You were terrified for them. In Conan the Barbarian, his relationship with Sandal Bergman, you believed. Whereas Conan. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has never descended into a role where you're not aware that you're watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart, or you're watching Baywatch. Whereas Schwarzenegger did create a reality within the characters that he was playing.
I would propose, though, that Schwarzenegger did not create those realities. I would propose, like, especially when you look at something like Terminator, right?
But
that was not, he had to be big, physical, imposing, say a handful of lines, and just look very grim. I would propose that was more the director that created.
No,
those
that's what I mean. I mean,
right?
it's I don't mean it's the actor themselves. I mean, it's the actual milieu, the whole movie. Whereas when somebody casts Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, it's always a wink and a nudge. Like, it's always like, you're watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It doesn't matter what movie he's in, whether it's Jungle Cruise or Skyscraper.
That's not true. Faster, he was not like that.
You know what?
Snitch,
what's funny,
was not
I
like
would say
that.
that's true. Those movies are require a much more ensemble or much more of a
Sure.
And they're already. I mean, I like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but he's no Arnold.
I think he's. Well, does anybody disagree though that Dwayne, especially today, is a better actor than Arnold was? I don't think Arnold can do a lot.
I think you're right about that. I think Dwayne is a better actor. The problem is I don't think Dwayne has ever allowed himself. I mean, I really loved him in Fast Five.
By the way, we need to hurry up because
anyway,
sorry about that, guys.
Philosophical debate.
We are less than halfway through the questions, and we've only got like 20-something minutes left. So sorry, we got to pick up the pace here. Sorry, I'm the one who got us off on that side. Sorry about that, guys. That's my fault.
Bobby Harris, Before the Batman, a book that serves as a prequel to the movie just released. Just ordered from Amazon this morning and looking forward to reading.
I am not familiar with Before the Batman.
I didn't know that was a thing either. I'll get that.
I'm going to have to go and keep my eyes open.
Is that an actual novel or a comic?
I'm going to guess it's probably a comic. But thanks for putting that on our radar, Bobby. All right, what's next?
Andy, I've got 2 of his 4 here. Random movie crossovers. John Wick, Chapter 3, Paranormal Activity. The Angry Bird Box
Because
movie.
it's Parabellum. Huh?
Mission Impossible, Ghostbusters, Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday the 13th. Charlie's Angels has fallen. X-Men Apocalypse Now.
Someone else said that one.
Star Wars Episode 8, The Last of the Mohicans. Spider-Man, No Way Daddy's Home.
Okay, I like that one. No, wait,
yeah.
that is home.
The Power Rangers of the Dog, Mr. and Mrs. Smith Go to Washington, The Magnificent Seven. Oh, that's awful.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
The Blair Witch Project X, Marriage, A Star Wars Story, Real Man of Steel, and Ray's possible favorite, The Terminal, Judgment Day. Which of these random movie crossovers would you look forward to the most?
I'll tell you what, the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
That's the winner there. That one's really good. Although Marriage, A Star Wars Story is pretty good.
Pretty good too.
Blair Witch Project X, I'll always remember that because that was the movie. I was in Nashville. And we went in with a buddy of mine to watch that movie in Nashville. And when we came out, the skies were green and there were air sirens going off because 21 tornadoes touched down in Nashville that day. And we spent the rest of the day in a tornado bunker.
Oh my
So
God.
that's how I'll always
Wow.
remember Project X.
That's how good that
Dang.
movie was.
And by the way, big special thanks to Donald Mex, who sent in a number of super chat badges there just to be supportive. Thank you, Donald. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's next?
Duba Juba. Hey, John, Rob, and crew. I was in COVID during worst of waves in India last year, and I'll forever be grateful for you two to make it easy. Rob, you would love Three Idiots.
First of all, it's awesome when we hear from our viewers who say stuff like that, Duba, that you guys let us be there a part of your day, whether we get to hear from people who spend long stints in the hospital or dry days at work or long hauls. We've had truck drivers say long hauls at night
Yeah.
or people holding up. That means a lot to us.
And also, I want to say shout out to India because Tango Shalom had its world premiere in Jaipur, India, at the film festival there. And I couldn't believe that they wanted to show it. I was hugely honored that Tango Shalom made it all the way to India.
And it is crazy how many viewers of our show are in India.
I know.
I'm always amazed by it. So thank you. We got to do a live show from India someday.
Man, I
Someday.
would love that.
I would love it too.
that.
Someday we'll make it out there. All right, what's next?
Alex Rajala. HBO Max just announced its entry into the European market in 15 European countries. As a DC fan, I want them to come to Asia ASAP. Also, the new Blacklight Batman posters are dope. I so want to get one.
Yeah, actually, they do look great. And yes, finally, we're starting to see the expansion a lot of countries have been waiting for with services like HBO Max. Disney has new rollouts coming as well. We're finally getting to that point. A lot of people have been waiting for this, and I'm glad you guys are getting that stuff, Alex. All right, what's next?
Hayden Wilson, the new Batman character posters are insane. I'm putting all of them on my wall. I'm so excited for this movie.
Listen, all the marketing, other than that one poster, has been dynamite.
Yep.
And I said when that one thing came out, I said, guys, get ready. They're going to open the floodgates now of the marketing. And we've been getting like new stuff every day. And I'm here for it, Hayden. I'm loving everything about it. All right, what's next?
Sod Ul Hassan, surprised that you can feel the love tonight. Let it go. You be in my heart. You'll be in my heart, etc. Never made it to number one on Billboard's 100 and are very popular songs.
Yeah, listen, especially, Ann and I were talking about Tarzan the other day, that Phil Collins basically did like the whole soundtrack of
yeah.
that. Son of Man is a great song.
I really
You'll Be
like
in My
that
Heart.
film.
It's good.
I think it's a good film.
I liked it a lot too. It's one that gets overlooked a
It
lot.
really does.
All right, what's next?
Mr. Kaplan, hey John, just wondering, where do you think they will take WW3 and what do you want to see for the third film? Also great to see Chris back. Waves. Hi.
As far as Wonder Woman 3 goes, look, where do I want them to? I never care about that. I just say, hey, filmmakers, show me what you got. I never go into it thinking they need to do this, and this. I'm going to tell you right now, though, I do think Chris Pine will be in it. They'll figure out to put Chris Pine in it. And look, as ridiculous of the way they brought him back and all that kind of stuff, that movie's not as good as it was, however good you think it was.
No.
Good, high or low. It would have been worse without Chris Pine in it. And he was the beating heart of the first one. They're going to find a way to bring him back for the third one. I mean, look, I'm not saying insider information. That might not be correct. I'm just saying, but I'd be very surprised if we don't see him. Do you got any bold predictions for what they might do in Wonder Woman 3?
I want to see the Amazons go to war with the Atlanteans.
That's a different movie, though. That's
I
not Wonder
know,
Woman.
but I
though,
want
right?
to see it.
Oh, I want to see it too. I mean, that could be in the
They're
Flash.
not going to do that, but I would love to,
That's a Flashpoint
post
thing.
Flashpoint, post Flash movie. Maybe we could see it. But
I'd watch that.
I would really like to. Well, I really like Wonder Woman 1. I did not like Wonder Woman 84. In
Me
fact,
neither.
it was
Yeah,
an
neither did
incredibly disappointing film for me. I looked at this and I'm like, what do you, especially after Gal Gadot's portrayal, I would love to see a Wonder Woman movie that has some kind of gravitas, that has something to do with her, I don't know, changing someone's mind from on a global scale about something. Like, how does Wonder Woman going from Wonder Woman
But she did that
1
in Wonder Woman 2. Everybody renounce your wish.
I
She
hated
convinced everybody. Come
no,
on.
I mean, her experience in Man's World in Wonder Woman 1 was so nicely done. I would love to see a continuation of that in the modern age somehow.
Yeah, I just want to see them utilize a villain well after the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
Like that's
They
all I
ruined
want. That's where
Maxwell
my bar
Lord.
is.
I couldn't believe it.
And Pedro tried. He really tried to do what he could with that role.
All right, what's next?
All right, John Redcorn again. Over under 20%. No Way Home makes more than Moonfall this weekend.
It will. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to guess
I can't believe
it will make more than Moonfall, but it will not be number one at the box office. Jackass will be number one at the box
Oh,
office.
yeah.
But I'll take over 20%, not 80%, but I'll take over 20% that it beaks out Moonfall.
Oh, I'll go with
Yeah.
you on that one.
Absolutely.
All right, what's next?
Double B Studio. I've missed every live show for 3 weeks now. I'm glad I can watch it live today.
Yay!
Welcome back.
Shout out to you and the crew. Love the chemistry.
Thank you so much, Double B. And it's good to have you back, man. And yeah, it's we're having a good time in here. Thanks for that, dude. All right, what's next?
Kevin Rubio.
Kevin.
John, Ari yesterday. I do have a Tag and Bink Disney Plus series pitch. Tag and Bink from a certain point of view.
I love it.
A cross between Bob and Bing road trip picks and the Blues Brothers.
I thought you were going to say Bob Iger and Bob Chapek road trip. Because you write a series, Kevin. I'm telling you right now. If Kevin Rubio were to write a series about a road trip between Bob Chapek and Bob Iger, I would watch that show.
Tag and Pick a Certain Point of View is a great title.
That is
though.
a great title.
great title.
For that. I love it. So everybody who's at Disney and watches this show, because we actually, no joke, we actually know a number of people at Disney watch this show. There you go. You got $1 million,
By the way,
$1 billion
if
idea
you
right
haven't
there.
read Kevin Rubio's Tag and Bink
you got
comics,
to.
I mean, they were reprinted by Marvel. Get the graphic novel. If you're a Star Wars fan, it is gut-bustingly funny, and I'm a character in it.
I did not know that.
I am.
That's fun.
I am Manny Bothens.
Oh, nice.
You weren't Big's
Manuel
Dark Lighter?
Bothens.
They
Yes.
didn't continue your character from
It's
the
true.
Star Wars porn?
No. There's the joke that Kevin was saying that, you know, when Mon Mothma says many Bothans died. Well, what if
Were you one of them?
What if it's not many Bothans, but it's Manny Bothans, Manny being a dude?
Oh.
And she was actually
She's
talking
just so
about
sad
her
about
lover
you.
that she lost. That was me.
Are you saying you are Mon Mothma's lover?
I am Mon Mothma's lover.
Wow.
Whoa.
It is.
Wow, you
It's
are
there's
all
even,
over the
I was
place.
even drawn. His artist, Louis Maragon. Maragon, Kevin, drew me as the character.
That's hilarious.
It's true.
That's
All right,
awesome.
what's next?
Ace there. Hey, John, did you end up liking the new Dexter?
I kind of ditched on it. It wasn't bad, but then I ditched off it. Out
When
of
you
it
say
I
ditched,
heard
I
it.
keep thinking about Harrison Ford landing a plane in a golf course. It's terrible.
Harrison. All right, what's next?
Rep Proctor, I remember a scene in Stranger Things season 3. There was a news clip that talked about Dungeons and Dragons and Satanism. It was the finale, but talking about the church and D&D, I remembered that.
I mean, look, Stranger Things it's basically a Dungeons and Dragons modeled show. Everything about the show is
Yeah.
kind of based on Dungeons and Dragons, which is why, even though we didn't mention this during the topic, but right now that Dungeons and Dragons live action show currently does not have a home. They're developing it and then they're going to sell it to a network. Netflix seems to be the place for it to go. Thurber just directed Red Notice for Netflix. Stranger Things is all Dungeons and Dragons stuff. It seems like Netflix is the place to go, but I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised to see it end up on Amazon as well. It could be there as well. All right, what's next?
Anime 38, Tom Hanks was standing on the top of the Twin Towers, not a bridge. Great movie. I just might watch it tonight after work, followed by My Bodyguard.
Are you sure about that? Was it in Mazes and Monsters? Was it the Twin Towers that he was standing on?
No. It was like in his neighborhood, right?
Yeah,
In the-
no, I do
in the
not. No, I do not believe it was the Twin Towers at all. At any rate, yes, if you get a chance, and My Bodyguard with Adam Baldwin, a young Adam Baldwin in My Bodyguard. I remember seeing that as a child.
That movie is really good.
It's a good little movie. It
Yeah.
really is. All right, what's next?
Double B Studio again. You're right about Baby Yoda, making money machine. My son has a beach chair, beanbag, Build-A-Bear, action figure, etc. He's 6 and a Padawan of Star Wars.
It's not just the kids. It's everybody else.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I love that he writes it and says, "My son," like he wasn't the dude who had to buy all of those things
No,
for his
notice
son.
he did mention that I also paid $475 for the hot toy of Baby Yoda. I mean,
By the way, worth it. Removable ears.
that's 1-to-1, right? The scale.
Yep. And by the way, I don't have one. I've got a 1-to-1 Yoda, but I don't have a 1-to-1.
And I've lost
Baby
count of
Yoda.
how many Baby Yoda things Anne has in the.
so many.
Anne has a lot of Baby Yoda things in the house, like a lot.
There's gonna be more after he appears
Tonight
with the armor on.
with the armor on,
Or
and
whatever was
he's going to
made for
take
him.
the dark saber from Mando.
That's what I was thinking. If they show that, I'm walking out. I'm going home.
You don't know.
If he picks up the dark saber and just whirls it around and
You're
just
just
like
He
gonna-
was in
Straight
the
up, I'm
Jedi
out.
Academy.
It's
He was
super
learning. He
Come
would have
on,
been
dude.
training with
Wouldn't
the
that be rad,
lightsaber.
though?
Remember when OG Yoda did that? When he did his little flippies?
Come on, man! In Attack of the Clones,
Don't
one
you
of the
want
coolest
that?
things is
but
when
he
Dooku and
can't
Yoda
be better
fight.
than Yoda right now.
No, of course
no.
not. Nobody's saying
Of
he's going to be better
course,
than
of
Yoda.
course not.
But he's learning
He's
how to
gonna
do
be better than
lightsaber
Mando, though.
properly.
Dark saber spinning on his finger.
He could be better than Mando, though.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, he was in school. He was in the Jedi Academy learning how to do everything. Great, he's a baby.
Okay, and what if he turns it on and it's a shorter blade because of its size, like it knows the size of the wielder? Then I'm out.
Ray, size matters not.
Size matters not, right?
Look at Baby Yoda. Judge him by his size. Do you?
Huh?
yeah.
Huh? I
His
say that.
ally
I
is
say
the
that
fourth.
to your sister
I'm
all the
not leaving.
time.
I'm not leaving.
on.
All right, what's next?
Another one from James Argenta. Wouldn't Boba be considered a jobber to Han in Return of the Jedi?
No, because that was a fluke. You know, I don't mind it when they, like in shows, comic books, whatever, if they clearly make it show like it's a fluke. It wasn't a straight up one-on-one fight. Like if Han and Boba Fett had a one-on-one fight and Han just bitch slapped him all over the place and just totally yeah, that would be jobbing him. But a fluke accident thing, no, I don't consider
Wouldn't
that
it be a
jobbing.
Luke? Sorry, I was just kidding.
All right, what's next?
All right, Elliot Cecil. John, do you think Batman will get to 1.5 billion?
That is, we can talk about what we think opening weekend will be because that's based on marketing and anticipation. What its overall box office is going to be is very, very heavily dependent on how good or bad the movie is. And
Agreed.
so I until we know, listen, for all we know, as excited as I am, this might be a bag of shit for all we know. I mean, it's my most anticipated film of the year, but until we see it and get a sense of how good or bad it is, impossible to say. It's definitely possible, though. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Dorado again. No offense to Luke and Han. I'd rather see the baby. Grogu is cuter. Sorry, guys.
Listen, you're not alone, Elizabeth. I think there's a lot of people in this world that feel exactly the way you do
Would
on
like
that.
to see the baby.
100%, Elizabeth. All right, what's next?
Living with Dameron. With nostalgia being such a big draw in media and comedy movies being an afterthought, is it time to do sequels or reboot comedy classics? 2 planes, 2 trains, and 2 automobiles? Police Academy reboot?
Well, I mean, look, with Police Academy, there were like 17 movies. They weren't good after the second one.
No, they
What
were
was it,
not.
Mahoney? Is that was his name? Mahoney. I mean, the Police Academy movies were classic. They've tried to do that before. They with not
I
great
just
success.
want to see good comedies again. You know, comedies that comedies that I believe in, like a Beverly Hills Cop, even though it starred Eddie Murphy, the movie itself had a reality that you believe in, that Eddie Murphy still was within the story as opposed to Eddie Murphy standing outside the story. Like I believed Axel Foley was a guy
right.
that worked. I want to see a Tootsie or an Arthur or, you know, even look, I'm a huge Get Him to the Greek. I love Forgetting
Love
Sarah
that
Marshall
movie.
and I Love You, Man.
Forgetting Sarah, like there's been some more modern ones. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, 40-Year-Old Virgin,
40, yeah.
Anchorman, I Love You, Man is one that I love.
All these.
It's not been a lot of great comedies lately.
I know. Why do you think that is?
It's harder to do comedies today.
Yeah, I guess.
But I'll tell you what, I'm watching some comedy on TV. Like, and
Yep.
After Party on
After
TV
Party.
right now is ridiculously
Ugh.
funny. It's really, really good. All right. Anyway, what's next?
Nathan Kruger. Old Ben failed at killing Maul and Rebels yet again. Or did he? Maul returns, but as a clone version of himself. Turns out he figured out cloning first.
Nah, it's done. They've done Darth. Look, you killed him. You brought him back. He's a Spider-Man now. Then they killed him again. And, no, at some point you gotta say enough's enough. You can do older movies with Maul if you want, but you cannot have Maul again after the events of Rebels. You can't how many times are you going to kill him? It's just, you got to move forward. All right, what's next?
Pablo Zuniga. It's funny we don't talk about Bruno is so popular considering that Let It Go and A Whole New World could be considered as less plot-specific driven songs as opposed to the plot-centric Bruno song.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let It Go is the better song to me. I think Let It Go is the better song. It carries a certain power to it, all that kind of stuff. But there is an X factor to the We Don't Talk About Bruno song that has just caught everybody's attention. It's got that awesome rhythm to it, and it just feels like something you want to move to.
Also, the power of social media now, TikTok being the obvious thing, it's being driven the way songs before haven't.
Yeah. That's
you
true
can
too.
sing it
Good
with
point.
your friends. You don't have to fight for the lead. You don't have to fight to be Idina Menzel.
Yeah, that's true. Adine Mazel. All right, what's next?
Kyle Wong.
Adele Dazeem.
In the episode of Boba where the Pike Army demount their transport, I would love if
did
they
we miss
were...
Harv's
Oh,
K?
sorry, I did.
Let's try Harv's first.
Harv's K. Still can't believe Disney did not submit Bruno for Best Original Song. They only submitted my Spanish is so bad. Two Caterpillars from the film.
But here's the thing. When I
Aguitas?
saw Encanto, We Don't Talk About Bruno wasn't the song I walked out humming. I think if they figured that this song would be as crazy popular as it was, they would have released it a month before the movie came out. I think it has caught them by surprise. I think it's caught a lot of people by surprise. And so I'm not terribly surprised about that, Harps. All right, what's next?
Now, Kyle Wong. In the episode of Boba where the Pike Army demount their transport, I would love if they were wearing purple tracksuits. Or the Mods.
Or the Mods. I mean, look, obviously we're seeing some kind of big conflict coming, right? With the Pikes, all faceless, nameless things. Some people speculating that maybe Darth Maul is going to be a branch of whatever organization he's got going on. Maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that Kyle Wong. All right, what's next?
Stubble McShave. T. Morrison must be frustrated with how Boba's written.
Or he loves it.
He did say the other day, we were talking about it, how he thought he talks too much in the show.
He actually thought he talks too much. I agree with him. He talks too much. I mean, listen, there's that one great Godfather scene where he's finally got the crime families in his palace and he's laying it out for them. And it ends with, listen, all I'm asking is when the shit hits the fan, stay neutral and stay out of it. Like, that whole scene was great.
It was cool.
Although, somebody did point out to me, he says, I intend to rule with respect, not fear. And yet in that thing, as soon as somebody says something cross, the Rancor clause comes up. He wants to rule with a little bit of fear. Always want to rule with a little bit of fear. All right, what's next?
Soul Brother Mac. My first experience to D&D was the 80s animated series. I watched the whole series once a year, and it still holds to this day. If they can make a live-action series based off that, I'll get excited for the live series.
Well, first of all, Soul Brother, thank you for sending in a $20 super chat for that and supporting our channel on that level. I am the Dungeon Master. I remember that animated show. And I will tell you, Soul Brother, that I also very fondly remember that show and think of that show. But no, the live action show should not be that animated show. The live action show should absolutely not be.
Maybe a little bit more of an adult bent.
For those of you who don't know, the animated series Dungeons & Dragons is like 5 or 6 regular kids in the regular world, and they get swept into the world of Dungeons & Dragons by this little guy called the Dungeon Master. And it was really fun, but I do not want them to do it. Do you remember this show?
Oh, yeah. I was a little too old for it, but I remember it.
The Dungeon Master. All right, what's next?
Josie Reviews. I went to my first Fight Club, and it was pretty sweet. I got there late, so I missed the rules of Fight Club. Hopefully they were important.
Damn it, Josie.
Wow.
You're already talking about it. You already broke the first rule of Fight Club.
And on the internet, too,
Yeah.
for everyone to see.
Terrible.
Right.
Terrible.
You know what
All right.
happens to you now? Project Mayhem. You're in trouble.
All right, what's next?
Rhett Proctor again. Did anyone hear that Loki Season 2 is supposed to start filming in the summer? If that's the case, we could see its release right before Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
What is becoming more and more clear is that when something goes into production, has really not a lot of bearing on when it's going to come out. You know, we were talking about this the other day. There's certain movies that are already done and wrapped, and then there are other movies that are just going into production that are coming out before that one that's already wrapped. So not necessarily the case, but you never know. It's definitely possible, Rhett. I mean, whatever their machinations are for what kind of flow they want to the overall MC story, we'll see. Rob, what do you think? Do you think it's going to come out before Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Probably not. I mean, it really has to do with post-production. Like, how long does it take? How many effects? What's being what? It's hard to say.
Remember, it's also about scheduling. Like, they may not be thinking, oh, Loki's got to come out by this time. It may be, okay, Loki's got to come out in 2 years, but Tom Hiddleston isn't available in this period. He's available much, much earlier here.
Exactly.
Therefore, that's when we got to shoot it. So it could be that, but it could be a lot of other things. Scheduling in Hollywood's a really big deal. All right, what's next?
Another one from Elizabeth Gerardo. Under the Surface in Encanto needs more hype. That's my favorite song. Yes.
That's a great one. Yeah.
If you're the oldest sibling, that song hits. Oh
That's
my
the
gosh.
one with the strong sister,
Yes,
right?
that's with Louisa.
I agree. I think that's my favorite song in the show, in the movie. I think that one too. All right, what's next?
Another Casey Mack. Don't know if you noticed it or if anybody has already pointed it out to you, but Bruno is actually in the background when Dolores is singing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can see him looming. Yeah.
Because when you find out where he's been the whole time, I bet you if you go through the movie with a fine-tooth comb, you'll find probably several little things of him maybe in the background. Now that I think about it, I didn't know that. Thanks for pointing that out, man. All right, what's next?
Ismail Montoya. It's game day. Lowercase.
day.
Oh, but it's a lowercase game day because it's Sleepy Fat. This show needs the cameo of someone to make it a Boba Fett show. My opinion.
Well, I mean, look again. I reject this notion that just because Boba Fett wasn't on screen in one episode, that it's not a Boba Fett show. I reject that. Just because Mandalorian, it's really no different and no worse than when Mandalorian, yeah, he's physically there, but that episode in season 2 was clearly Boba Fett's episode. Yeah, Mando was there, but this is still the book of Boba Fett. Just like that was still the Mandalorian, even though Boba Fett himself was the star of the episode, or Luke was the star of the other. It's still the Mandalorian. This is still the book of Boba Fett. So we'll see how that goes. All right, what's next?
Tammy Kumar, thank you for that donation.
Thank you, Tammy.
CD Swift. I'll definitely be watching The Batman 3 times opening day. IMAX, Dolby, and Standard.
Nice.
Thanks, A-List.
A-List is so wonderful. First of all, A-List is wonderful all the time, especially around times like this. I just may have to book multiple. Well, let's be honest. I'll be lucky if I get tickets opening day, period. But I will try to get multiple tickets. Like I really am. I'm going to try to get multiple tickets opening day for like if I can get a 4 p.m. screening, a 7
You got to
p.m.
go to see it
screening.
in IMAX.
I'm more of an AMC Prime guy. I'm kind of
Well, Dolby's good too.
yeah, Dolby
Dolby's
Prime. I kind of lean towards that over IMAX. But hey, IMAX is a great experience too. Absolutely. All right, what's next?
Another Josie Reviews. Surprised the review embargo for Moonfall hasn't lifted yet.
No, you're not.
After your raving review of Moonfall, they'd released the embargo early.
You know what? I did not even know that. Let me look this up.
Wait,
Hold
was there
second.
even an embargo? They didn't say anything to us. We paid for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's how we get out of it, right?
Yeah.
No, like yeah, because we paid to go see it. We went to, it wasn't a critic screening, so there was no embargo. Like when you go to a critic screening, it's understood. If you are coming into this special screening, you cannot write about it until X and X a time, such and such a day. But ours was a public screening.
Yeah.
That was no anything like that, so we can talk about all we want. But as of right now, there are no reviews on Moonfall and Rotten Tomatoes. The review embargo is still in effect. Movie opens, what, tomorrow in 2 days, 48 hours?
Man.
I will start a Rotten Tomatoes account
There
to
we
give
go.
the movie its due.
I'm so excited to put It's a Movie on there.
100%.
100% for Moonfall. All right, what's next?
Jasmine Jones, thank you for your large super chat there. 1999. Wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Jasmine.
Okay, hear me out. Lin-Manuel Miranda and Kenny Ortega do a musical for Disney. No matter what they do, it either turns into a classic or a cult classic like High School Musical, Descendants, Hocus Pocus, Hamilton, and Encanto.
I don't know who Kenny Ortega is.
He's a choreographer.
Choreographer and director. He did all the High School Musical movies,
Yeah.
and Hocus Pocus.
Oh, High School Musical maps. I've never seen a damn second of those.
I think he's
damn
doing
things.
Hocus Pocus 2 now, isn't he?
And they just
Really?
wrapped, I believe.
They just wrapped
Miller
production
did.
on Hocus
Yeah.
Pocus too. Yeah, that news was out there today. I have not seen High School Musical. I've not seen High School Musical, the musical, or whatever they call it on Disney Plus. All I know is that Zac Efron came out of it.
I worked at Disney World around the time of High School Musical.
Really?
So we all had to learn the dance in case like Good Morning America was coming and they were like, we need all the cast members to learn this. So I know all the wildcats everywhere. Wave your hands up in the air. And it's burned in my brain forever.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's still there.
Yeah.
So like tomorrow's show, you can do
God,
like.
that's evil.
Can we that's it. Everybody.
Oh man, all I know is that I watched Vanessa Hudgens' Architectural Digest video about her house on YouTube recently. She is a very classy lady.
I
She's
love
so
her.
good. Tick Tick Boom.
Her house is beautiful. And
amazing.
she's amazing in Tick Tick Boom.
I'm ready for her to have a
Amazing.
moment.
But I'm going to put up a tweet a little bit later. And if that tweet gets 1,000 likes,
no.
then tomorrow's
Why
show,
did I do this?
Chris Carr will reenact the Disney
Wow.
dance. No,
Please
I'm
don't.
I'm not promising any such thing. All right, what's next?
Oh, I am.
No. That was the last time Chris ever shared anything. Zelda Master 702. Miranda has won 2 Emmys, 3 Tonys, and 3 Grammys. He was nominated for the Oscars for How Far I'll Go, but lost to City of Stars from La La Land.
Okay, well, he's gonna have the EGOT really damn fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
If he's already got the Emmy, obviously he had Tonys, but if he's already got the Emmy and he's already got the Grammy and he's already got the Tony, the Oscar is easily going to be his pretty soon. I think it might even be this year with Tick Tick Boom and Encanto and
Boom.
if
Yeah.
not boom, Tick Tick Boom. If not this year, then something. Yeah, he'll be the EGOT.
By the way, that movie's so good. I love Tick Tick.
Tick
Boom
Tick
so
it's
much.
really great.
That's my favorite thing that I've watched as a screener so far this year. It's so
so
beautiful.
good.
Oh,
It's so good.
Gosh.
I feel bad that
And
you
it's-
feel bad that yeah.
It's actually Stephen Sondheim on the answer machine at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I heard that. That was it. Was so good that got to come out before he passed away too.
Yeah, I know. So good.
All right, what's next?
We just have a ton of donations right now. Thank you, Noah AG, Gary Phillips, Bruce Wayne, Mr. 47.
Wait, Bruce Wayne watches the show?
It's the
Yeah.
47. What's up?
Donald Mack sent another one. Stubble McShave resent that T. Morrison must be frustrated with how Boba's written.
Oh, I think
Stubble's
somebody's got
the man,
doubled
by the
up.
way.
So I think that's it. We got through all the questions.
Woo!
And just in time. And that'll do it, guys. For today's installment of the John Campea Show, thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Don't forget, guys, we got our first episode of Mailbag coming out a little bit later. For all you guys who've been sending in comments and questions via the tip link down below, Mailbags for you, that's coming up a little bit later today. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those comments and questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the John Campea Show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. By the way, I'm going to have to start video documenting. I ordered all the stuff I need to make the John Campea Show studio fully solar. I ordered all the stuff online. I'm going to be setting it up. I'm going to have to chronicle some of it for you guys. Going to be setting up the solar panels outside, bringing in the batteries, and we're going to run everything in the studio off of solar power. Hopefully starting in the next week or two, I'll document all that. Anyway, I want to thank everybody in the room here with me. Apparently, star of the Tag and Bink comics, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, where can people follow you?
Well, you can follow me apparently on a now carbon free, or what do we have no more carbon footprint on this show, which is great. So you can't follow me around, except you have to go to social media. Find me on Twitter, Burnett RM. Find me on Instagram at Robert Meyer Burnett, or find me on my own YouTube channel, The Burnett Work.
By the way, you were one of the inspirations for me to go solar.
I was.
Because a number of times in the last couple of years, it's happened to me once or twice too, but a number of times over the years, you literally couldn't do your work because
Yes,
you had power outages.
power was out.
And I thought, you know what? I don't want that to happen here. I want it to happen.
Recently they were doing construction in the foundation of our house. Just power's gone.
Yeah. So that was one of the reasons why. Anyway, sitting over here, Mr. Ray Ora. Ray, where can people find you?
You know, directing the John Campea Show, a solar story. Ray or a
And
zero.
sitting beside Ray, of course, is Chris Carr. Chris, where can people find you?
Hiding so I don't have to do a dance. God. You
Too
can
late.
find me on @actor Chris Carr on Twitter or Instagram, or on my website, Chris-Carr.
And of course, you guys can follow me on social media, on Twitter or on Instagram, simply right there at John Campea. That'll do it for us for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. My name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.